Boomers Unplugged, episode 5?
5.
Ooh, I'm episode 5.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. Lucky Nickel Terry.
Yeah.
Our guest tonight is the one and only Terry Hyams. Also, a writer. Like
A writer.
3 of our 4 guests and one of our hosts.
I'm trying to be a writer. I'm not sure if I'm a writer.
You wrote something, didn't you?
I did write something.
I haven't written anything. It makes you a writer and me not a writer. And you wrote more than one thing. You wrote a song, too,
I wrote a second song.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. We're going to put together an album.
I heard your first one. It's pretty good.
I thought
that guy can sing. That guy's got a great voice.
The guy can really sing. And
what kind of music is it? Country? Is it
No, it's
pop?
not country. It's more.
I would say it's
kind of like in the Jackson Brown, Eagles kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of almost like folk rock, but actually,
what's the name of it?
But it's
It's
newer.
called An Older, Better Me.
Decent tune.
So the
it's
concept
a rough
is a
recording,
journey.
but it's a decent
It's a journey
tune.
about a guy who just, you're bred to be great. Everybody wants you to be great. I want to be great. And you realize that mediocrity sets in and you're kind of mediocre. And then you realize when you get older, mediocre is
okay.
It isn't the worst thing.
Define mediocre, like on a scale 0 to 100. Where is mediocre?
You didn't become that NBA player. You didn't, save the world. You just raised a family. You made a decent living. And when you look back at your life, it wasn't bad.
All right, so let me ask you another question. What percent of the people in the world would trade places with you right now?
Probably 99.9%.
In the world?
Okay, so yeah, in the world.
Yeah. So again, that's the.
So who you comparing it to, right? We always compare it to what? What's in front of us, but
listen again. Come on, we're from the age of where we raise our kids and tell them, "Oh, you got to be great." We were given a trophy just for participating. And but
those are our kids.
Yeah,
not us.
No, us. We were the generation where our dads didn't give a shit.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
I look at it this way. We tell our kids all the time how special they are, and our parents used to say to us, "What the hell you think you are, special?"
Well, it is kind of funny because I go back to like Rhonda's dad. Rhonda's dad came to this country. He was a
Rhonda, your wife?
Rhonda, yeah. So her dad was a survivor of the Holocaust. So he came in 1942, I think, right after Kristall Nacht. And he showed up with like $10 in his pocket. He was 7 years old. His mom just brought him. And this guy had to go to work when he was 12. So he went to work. So when he listens to kids go, I don't want to do this for a living. I want to do that. He's from the things. You get a fucking job. Right. It doesn't matter what you do, just do it. You don't have to be happy doing
work.
it.
What did he do at 12?
He was like, whatever job he can get locally to take care of his parents. I mean, it wasn't about school. It wasn't going to school back in those days.
Streetwise.
He's a kid in the 50s in the Bronx.
That's like my Polish great grandparents.
Exactly,
Same thing. They came in and worked and hustled right from the beginning.
There was no thought to, I'm going to get that house. I'm going to get that. That wasn't the house. I'm just looking to get bread for the family.
The house came out of it after a while.
And plus, nobody really wanted to hire you. Especially from what I understand, listening to my grandparents, God bless them, that nobody wanted to hire a Polak.
Right, exactly.
Right? I mean, and you talk about discrimination, you talk about just hard times and having just to work hard and what they want. And a lot of times the women didn't work, just the men worked.
Well, somebody's got to stay home, take care of the kids, and do whatever they got to do. I mean, the world was a much different place than where we are today. And so, that's kind of part of my TV show. It's based on the bra business, but it's
Hold on.
Yeah.
The bra business?
The bra business, yeah.
Do you have a like a theme song?
Not yet.
Did you bring,
Oh,
did you bring a
right one.
sample with you?
Can I write one? Can I submit one?
But so to tell you a great story about the thing, it's like, and you guys have been in my life for, I don't know, 26, 27 years. When you're in the bra business, you can control most of the party because everybody likes somebody who's in the bra business. You know, how are the models? Oh, the models are pretty good. I mean, and part of the story is, I tell the story from, starts in 1959, so talking about how hard times were. It's loosely based on my dad's life, which is, didn't graduate high school, had to quit high school when he was 16 because his dad died, and his brother was in the Navy, so he had to take care of his mom. Enlisted in the Army, went to Europe, first, there's a long story, but he gets married without telling anybody.
I can't wait to hear the part about the tits. That's all I want.
Well, anyway. he goes into the Army, and he's married, comes out of the Army. He played basketball and was a cook. That's what he did in the Army. Came out of the Army and then gets this shitty warehouse job. And my dad was a great artist. And this is a true story. He was really, really an unbelievable artist. And on all the cartons, he would just draw little pictures. Of Woody Woodpecker, and he had this one character, Crazy Lady Maxine, he would draw her every day. And so the boss one day is going through the warehouse, and he says to the manager, "Who the fuck is drawing on my cartons?" So he calls a meeting, and he yells at like 10 guys, like, "There's pictures everywhere. Like, who the fuck is doing this?" And my father says, "It was me." And the guy, instead of firing him, says, "Come with me." And he takes him into a pattern room, and he shows him a pattern, and he goes, "Can you do this?" And my father says, "Yeah, what could be so hard?" I didn't ask you to be a wise ass. Like, "Can you do this?" He goes, "Yes, I can do that." "Good, you're hired." And he gave him a job as a pattern maker, doubled his salary, and that's how he got into the bra business. That's how I'm in the bra business. It was actually 54 when he did it, so it was 71 years ago. And both myself and my older brother Howie were bra guys. And when people say, "How'd you get into the bra business?" That's how I got in the bra business. And he excelled in it. But again, he didn't have a college education. He had nothing. So.
He had smarts.
Hold that right
And
there. I want to do a camera check.
Good idea, since
So do you
do
pause
that
the
once, that
podcast?
wasn't-
You're good.
Do you pause?
Chris,
Or you just keep
you're
going?
moving
Let's
away,
keep going, because he can edit anything out.
but you're good. Yeah.
I'm moving away from
Yeah.
what?
Johnny editing.
Johnny Tech.
So, get me on your team. You'll see how creative we can be.
So the show.
Hold on. You gotta come back and sit. That was the earliest break we ever took, right? All right, Boomers Unplugged. We're back. And first off, Chris, could you just, since you know the guest, you have a long relationship with him. I have
No
a
terrible
relationship,
long
and certainly you have a deeper one. Just take a minute. Who do we have here today?
I thought we already established that.
I don't know, we got some idiot from Robbinsville.
Yeah, another Orville dude. We've had how many now? We've had 4 of the 5 episodes have been Orville dudes.
All right, we'll start it again. we didn't really,
Didn't we?
go into a formal introduction.
I thought I said it was
Does
the
it-
one and only Terry
Does it
Hyams.
need to be? Yeah, he said I was a
I
writer.
did say that. I said
it need to be
There'll be a
Yeah.
bio on it and so forth.
Yeah.
I just thought, So where were we?
We were talking
Boomers
about the
Unplugged.
bra business.
So again,
So you got
about
away
Robbinsville.
from the thought of titties.
Yeah, because I
in
didn't
2
get
seconds.
I didn't get to the titty portion of the
Right.
of the show.
Come on,
So
you
it's
didn't-
not just the show about this character that
So
is
you're-
loosely based on my dad.
So your dad gets called back into the office. Can you do this? He says, of course I can.
Yeah.
What's so hard about it? He says, why is the acid in,
And then he gets hired.
and he does.
And he becomes an assistant pattern maker. and then moves up the ladder to become a merchandiser, to become a vice president, then president. And in the story, he's going to actually be much more successful. But in the story, he's got to have a lot of failure. For some reason, every writing thing tells you that there has to be, for every positive thing, there has to be a negative thing. And so there always has to be.
That's
I mean,
that's a shrink kind of thing.
Yes, and I don't know why people can't just deal with the struggle of life like we all did. I mean, of course, we can go look back at your life and go, yeah, well, that was a negative time. But it wasn't like you had this antagonist who was on you all the time, just, you're never going to be anything. You're never going to. I mean, I think and that's the story I'm telling you, is it's a guy just living his life. But, I mean, it gets a little deeper because I also tell a story from a female perspective for one of the characters. And I have this character, Al. He creates and invents what's called the fit model. So, because back in the 50s, yes, they had models come on and try on bras and all that stuff, but it was all over the map. So,
I remember as a kid grabbing the Sears catalog and going to the underwear. Did you guys ever do that?
Yes.
I mean, who did? I mean, listen, when the Victoria's Secrets catalog
Remember the guy?
that was the greatest thing of all time.
Remember the one, and I actually saw where the guy with the shorts with his cock was hanging out.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, on the side there. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway.
So yes,
Back to the bras.
So I had this character create the fit model, and she is my character, Carolyn.
Drew, look at that.
She becomes, and I actually got the name because I found a book. This years ago at my brother's house. I found a book, and it was inscribed to my dad that said, "To Al, love the time we spent together." And it was written by this woman, Carolyn Jones, and she was a fit model. And I was like, okay, what time did my dad, have with this? So that's kind of what got me inspired to write the story, because I know that, my dad was in the business in Manhattan in the late 50s, early 60s. I know there was an apartment. What happened in the apartment, but I know there was an apartment. It was the Mad Men era.
Mad Men, that's what it says, just like the show Mad Men,
yeah,
right? Because that was textiles too, wasn't it? Mad Men?
No, they were ad.
Oh, wait a minute, that's right, advertising.
Yes.
Have we established, and I know that he made patterns, but have we established what business he was making patterns for?
Bras. He was making bras.
Is he smoking crack over here?
Well, I know it was a bra story, and I know it was implied, but we never really got to the point where we said that he was making. So I wanted to, connect the nipples here.
Okay, I've spent the last 40 years in the bra business.
They're dots, right? So
yes, I got it.
All right, it's within topic. All right, so now I have some questions about this.
Sure.
All right, he made patterns. Did he have models? Did he have right?
So here's how.
Is this how he did it?
So here's how it works. Okay?
I mean, did he have someone that got hired? Hey, what's your job?
Somebody comes in and says, "All right, I want to make this garment." So you go out to a store. You go to back in the day. You go to France. You go shopping Paris. You go shopping Lyon. You go shopping Germany and London, and all these places, and see what the Europeans are doing. You bring it back, and then you basically knock it off. So they rip apart the garments.
So basically, you guys were the Chinese back then.
See, and now I produce in China, and I'm going to say that China is not, for our industry at least, for clothing industry, it was never a knockoff. So I want you to understand that American companies were the ones who went.
Oh, I know that.
It wasn't China stealing American stuff.
That.
And the reason why, so back in the 50s and 60s, all of this stuff was made, first they started making it in the U.S. The U.S. was too expensive. So they started moving to the Caribbean. And so you were allowed to assemble in the Caribbean. So you basically buy all your raw materials made in the U.S. So fabric makers, trim makers, different things, metal makers, hook and eyes, any kind of thing that you guys probably know about a bra, gets made in the U.S. You package it all together, you send it to the Dominican or Haiti or Puerto Rico, and I've been to all of them, to manufacture, and you manufacture down there and bring it back under what they had this thing called 807, so you didn't have to pay duty on the shipment coming back. And you'd use their cheap labor down in the Caribbean. Well, as years went on and the Caribbean became much more expensive, and then companies decided, I've got all this inventory. I have my inventory of finished product in my warehouses all along in the US, and I'm designing and producing goods, but I've got this factory in Puerto Rico that has, I do a print for, Macy's. Macy's orders 1,000 units, and I got 200 yards left of this ugly print that's sitting in the warehouse. And then before you turn around, after you make, because the company that I work for, we made, this is no bullshit, we made 300,000 dozen bras a week. 300,000 dozen bras a week. Just imagine that.
That's
number.
3.6 million.
That's a
A
lot.
week. And we produced in the
lot of
Philippines.
bras.
We produced in the Philippines. We
Boomers
produced
can do
in
math.
Puerto Rico, and we produced in the Dominican Republic. And we were what was considered a medium-sized private label company.
So
we weren't a
somebody
branded
else is
company.
manufacturing more than 3.5
Vanity
million.
Fair in those days was producing 2 million dozen and 2 million dozen bras. So
Jesus.
what
Now, did
happened-
you have like a specialty or something that
Well, if you,
separated
if
your
you
bras
remember
from
back,
the
So if you
competitors?
remember back in the day, like Macy's had their ink brand. So that would be a private label brand. So they would go to manufacturers to make that brand for them. Sears had, what the hell was the name? Secret Romance, I think they had. So, Sears was a huge customer back in the day. Now they're gone.
You ever hear Betty
They're
Bob's?
nobody's customer now.
But
You ever hear Betty Bob's bras?
I did not.
Their slogan was, we're the best with the over-the-shoulder boulder holder, but it never really took off.
Yeah,
I think it's something.
Well, that was their tagline.
Yeah. Anyway,
So anyway, so in 1995, China opened up. And China said to...
wait a minute. You stole the ideas. You stole the patterns from China.
No one stole the patterns from China. So again...
Yeah, but you cut the bras apart and you
Well, that's
duplicated
one
them.
way of doing it. You'd like a style that you saw in Europe. And it didn't have to be a bra. It could be a girdle. It could be
Whatever.
a slip or whatever. But you have to have something to create. And that's why they used to have designers. So now there's like no designers. People create everything on CAD now. It's all done. The whole industry.
Yeah, the
is
designers
completely
used to
shut.
draw them in these folders.
Back in the day, there was designers that would create a garment, which was what my dad was, Sears would come in for a meeting. You'd show them an entire line of product, 50 bras, a whole ensemble, and that was all done in the U.S.
Yeah, you
where
had
they would,
samples made for them.
But
and so you have
sales.
you
so what
usually
year are
have
we
3
talking
models.
about? What year are we talking
So
about?
this is in the 50s and the 60s.
Oh, it's 50s and the 60s.
I mean, I can give you the
Just
history of bras.
Stay with
I
me
mean,
for a second.
yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of where we're going, because back in the 50s and 60s, women wore bras, but they didn't show that they wore bras. I remember,
No,
when I was
that-
in 3rd grade, I was like, I saw the teacher's bra. Did
Yeah,
you
you
see that
remember the
bra?
strap?
Do you remember,
Right.
do you remember the
Right.
movie The Outlaw? So Jane Russell was the first one to really show
Oh,
a
yeah,
bra
yeah.
in a movie.
The 24-hour bra was...
And she was the Playtex model, yeah.
See?
And so that was when, and those were the torpedo bras.
Wasn't she the orange?
No,
juice?
that was Anita, what's her name?
Bryant?
Anita Bryant, yeah.
So anyway, back in the 50s and 60s, so obviously the bras back then were like comfort, performance,
So yes, so again,
push-ups.
in my
I would-
story,
I'd say
no
with-
push-ups.
no push-up bras
push-ups.
back then.
So in my story, as I
Wow.
tell them, I have the main character is the inventor. So the first episode, he gets to meet a fabric salesman who has this great new idea of a fabric. It's an ugly fabric, but it has stretch, two-way stretch. And he's like, what is this stretch? Where did it come from? And it was when DuPont invented Lycra. So people don't realize this. Lycra came out in 1959. So I have Al. He is going to invent the first bra with Lycra. It's not a big deal, except every bra now has Lycra. I mean, every shirt and pants now have Lycra. So it was a huge deal back in the day, because back in the day, they had to figure out how to get stretch in a garment. So they would use rubber and elastic and stuff like that. And, you know, again, a lot of the stuff was really ugly. So I have, this character is going to be very innovative in doing products that, you know, that we now see in really nice bras and all that stuff.
So he's got the benefit of the future.
Well, yeah, well, because I'm writing.
It's
So-
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now,
How could bras not be interesting?
Yeah,
when
of course,
did,
everybody
since you know
loves
the
bras.
history of bras, when did, I understand Jane Russell, but when did really bras become
So the first,
like,
supposedly the first bra
Was the Egyptians.
Well, no, there's always, yeah, well, that's true. There's been bras. I had a guy who wanted me to write, you know, when I came out, I met this guy at a bar in Asbury, and he works for Netflix, and he wanted me to write a documentary on making bras. So I did a little research on it, but yeah, so back in the days of like Alexander the Great, I think they had bras and things like that. But the first one to actually make a bra, I think there was a story, it was a 1916 debutante woman who couldn't get a dress to work, so she cut a whole bunch of things together and made this bra that worked, and it was considered the first bra. And then somebody, a couple of years later, like in 1920, came to a woman who was a seamstress in Manhattan, and she was actually the beginner of Maidenform, and she started Maidenform, and she sewed some bras locally for people, and then they got the idea, and then they started making bras around.
So you've been doing it now for 40 plus years.
I've been in the business. I got in the business.
Has the bra changed much in 40 years?
Actually, so this is going to be a little sexist, but so the bra business has been part of the joke of the series. Is it's a man's business making women's undergarments. So that's
all right, so here's what's really fucked up.
yeah.
Okay, men making women's undergarments.
Correct.
So why do you make them so you can't get them fucking off? Right.
Right. What kind of idiots are in your industry? Can't you make one that you look at and it falls off?
Unfortunately, Velcro and
Every
magnets
movie is
don't hold those
They're
over the
not-
boulder
they're not
shoulder
real
holders so
comfortable
good.
either.
You know.
I remember there's some fairly large chests out there, and a magnet just isn't going to do the trick. You
Well,
gotta
look,
have something that hooks in and holds it.
Look, you guys have been making these freaking things the
Yeah.
same way for years and years
Yes,
and
they
years.
have.
I think you could now innovate. All right, take it.
You know what it is,
Ask
John?
Grok. Go to Grok and say, "How do I make this
Yeah, right.
so it holds
Use AI.
boobies in, and guys can get in
And I'll
easier?"
tell you right now,
Right? It's not a good one.
Let's see what it says.
This
We're
is a good
gonna
one.
have to test that on you.
to answer your question from 10 years ago, and since basically women now run and own bra companies, the whole industry has gone to absolute shit. And it's all based on money, and there hasn't really been a good innovative
So wait a
product.
minute. So
forever.
women now have taken over that industry,
Mhm. And there's no brands left.
and it's not better than it
No.
would be before.
So
So
back
it doesn't matter whether it's men or women.
How do you
Well, back in the
how do you
day,
make it better?
Well, if you're a woman and guys have been making your undergarments for your whole life, and now you're in charge of what goes on, wouldn't you look into what's a better undergarment? And instead, it's just women owning it because it's a woman's garment.
right now what they do is they go to China and see what China's making. They go to the Canton Fair, which I don't know if it exists anymore since COVID, but
Oh, what's that, like a giant bazaar?
giant, like 50 football fields. You know, I mean, you need a week to walk through this thing. But you will find all their innovation that they've made. Because yes, China has taken all of our ideas and then they've ran with it. And they're the only ones who have the equipment to make anything anymore. So it's, for somebody to say bring bras back to the U.S., it's not going to happen. There's no textile machinery here. We have regulations
textile
against
machines have
dyeing
been
and
gone
finishing.
from here for years.
Since
For years.
since the early 2000s. So I used to be a buyer for a bra company. I'd buy all the raw materials.
And that's how you traveled around the world then.
Yeah, well, and now I travel to China for my own company, but yeah, back in the day, I would travel all over the place. And there's just nothing available here anymore. And you're not going to bring it back, because I'm not going to be able to go to Mark Cuban and say, hey, Cube, give me $100 million. I'm going to build a textile factory.
Bras.
The ROI will be 15 years,
Right.
Okay.
All right, so let me ask you a question, not related to your business, but I think you would know. At least of anybody that I could ask this question to. So when the tariffs hit, the Chinese folks, factory workers, whomever, started posting videos and showing how all these luxury items were not made in Italy or France. They were actually made in China, and is that true?
Yes.
100%.
100% true.
100% true.
My wife worked for Liz Claiborne,
Yeah.
and she was a merchandiser for Liz Claiborne. All their product was made in China. All the high-end stuff that everybody thought's coming from France and Spain and all.
Now, I did buy one thing like that from China, an Eagles jersey.
Which
And
is
what does a
hard on
football
you, which
jersey
is pretty
cost?
funny.
Like $300?
Yeah, they're expensive.
All right. This was two for $100.
Yeah.
So I go, and they were. You can't tell the difference.
No, you can't. So
And so why wouldn't I go get my wife one of the what is the most expensive bag called?
I'll tell you something.
And get it.
I'll tell you something super funny. This is actually
Hermes
really
or
funny.
whatever.
Because I get my suits from the tailor, and he orders them overseas, and they come in these little compressed boxes, and then
So here's the funniest thing. So
anyway, I don't know.
you go,
We just-
you're in China.
Start a
Okay.
business.
So I used to have a guy, very dear friend of mine, who unfortunately
Out of the
passed
garage.
away last year. He would be my translator and take me around China. This guy Peter, great guy. And we would go into places like Guangzhou. First you'd go to Hong Kong and you'd be able to buy all the fake stuff. But then you could go into China and buy like the fake Chanel bags and the fake Gucci and all this stuff. And the prices were pretty good. Like you'd buy a fake, but you could see the quality of it, and it'd be $100 as opposed to $1,000.
10,000.
The people in
How
China.
about the $300?
But wait a second. This gets really funny. So Americans go in there. So I was taking orders from a whole bunch of people, and I fly in with a giant suitcase full of all these bags to give out, and all this stuff to give to my family and everybody. I like this. They'd send me pictures of what they like. But the funniest thing is, so people in China, these people make even like so in China there's a lot of rich people, but like the workers of the factory, not these sewers, but the managers, make a decent living. They would never, ever buy that fake stuff in China, ever. Like if I said to them, take me, they say, I don't even know where to go, because they would never do that. They would come to the United States
To buy the
and buy the
expensive shit.
$1,000 Gucci bag. And I'm like, wait, you don't have that money. And they're like, no, I would never buy the fake thing. Which is hilarious.
Okay, so all right, let's stay with that thought. Based on your own opinion,
Yeah.
like you go to a nice event, right? Everybody, a wedding, black tie, and everybody. How much of those purses and shoes and so forth are fake?
Oh, what a nice affair. From an American person?
Yeah,
Probably very little.
very little.
Yeah, because I think people are so
Americans
full
don't?
of shit that they buy this stuff. I mean,
Why would
I have a friend.
What would you do?
his
I would
wife-
buy the fake shit, right?
But I have a friend. His wife walks around in sweats all day long, and she's got a $5,000
bags.
Gucci bag, and she's got her Prada bag. I'm like, what the fuck? Thank God for my wife, because she has never asked me to do that. And I've gone there. I bought her a nice Cartier watch in Hong Kong and stuff like that, but she's never asked for that stuff, and thank God.
Yeah, my wife's the same way. She
Yeah.
doesn't.
How long you been married?
39 years in.
God bless you, brother.
Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
pretty good.
He's got me beat.
Did I hear you're having your first grandchild?
I had my first one.
You had your first one, boy or girl?
A girl,
Awesome.
Ella Joy. She was born on Mother's Day, so it was
Oh,
Mother's
just
Day, no
now.
shit.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
very nice. So
You know why God gave you kids?
no,
So you can have grandchildren.
okay.
You're gonna love it more than you ever. I'm blessed to have a couple. 6 actually.
Do
Couple.
you really have six?
Well, I have number 6 coming.
Oh, you got another? Who's
Danielle.
that? Oh, right.
Danielle.
It's-
Anyway, but
Yeah, it's wonderful, and we're really excited, and we're very happy. So,
Good.
that is so, you know.
and I've had enough shit to deal with in my life that a couple of good things would be a good thing to have.
Every good thing is a good thing to
Yes.
have.
Wait a
Like you
second.
say, you get a lot of negative shit that
Wait a
happens
second.
too.
Well, look, we all have negative shit.
Of course you do. You want to forget the negative
But-
shit and dwell on the happy shit.
But every day I'm dealing in bras. I still gotta understand why guys can't make bras
I
that
gotta
are
tell you,
easy to
Jeff,
get into.
The bra bit. So I
You
always
can't get over that yet.
I like
just think it's
I
funny.
like to tell a
I
story
like
that
it.
the bra bit.
If I got into it's
Well,
normal.
they have those
anyway.
newer clips now in the back. You just can go.
Yeah, but again, those things don't hold the big boulders.
I'm not a big boulder kind of guy.
Well, then you'll be fine. But you can get it.
Listen,
You can get through a hook and
there's
eye.
not
Come
a
on, let's
big-
not over
There's
it.
not a big boulder amongst us when it comes to our
No,
women.
my wife is not a
Well,
well endowed woman.
he's taking care of the general public, and you know, there's a lot of folks that, you know.
It is pretty funny because I mean, my business now is medical bras. So we're actually
Specialty
making,
bra.
So we're actually making bras for the medical industry, and so that fit model is not that great because
You know what? You know what I read though about bras. You know the one injury that they pretty much eliminated on women, black eyes when they run.
When did this become the comedy hour?
I don't know. Isn't it supposed to be? A comedy hour?
It's the stand-up
Come
Johnny
on,
Paycheck
I'm
hour.
just saying we gotta have fun and look. You know, we're blessed to have great women in our lives, and there's no great guy without a great woman. And through the guys, the women really actually run everything, and you know, and so forth. They certainly spend 90% of the money. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, what do guys need? You know,
A fishing shack on the side of a river, and that's it, and a fishing pole.
yeah, but I need a PlayStation.
You need your
too.
golf bag.
I need a PlayStation.
He actually told me that many years ago.
No, I still.
He
That's all I
wrote.
need.
You still have the. I think my
That's all
wife.
I need.
My wife might still have the napkin. This is when he was married to his last wife, and we were out one night. And we're sitting in a bar. We're getting loaded, and he starts. How the hell did we get on the conversation?
Well, I said that like, you know, everybody has a destiny, and kind of like it's kind of like you said. Everybody wants to acquire more, get more, and I said no. I said at the end of the day, all I would like is a little house by the stream.
But if I'm not
with a
mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, the word divorce was involved in this conversation somehow. Not that you were getting divorced at the time. Remember? And we wrote it on a cocktail napkin. And then it was
saying that
witnessed.
this is all I wanted
All you
in case
need-
I got
in
divorced.
case I got
I'm
divorced.
glad-
Do you remember that?
Thank God that never came up.
No,
I'm kidding.
well, yeah, but
I'm only
listen,
kidding.
You could have easily went. Are you kidding me?
I
You're a bar
know
loader.
that.
All he wanted was peace and contentment.
But that's all we want.
Yeah.
And we want our kids
I don't
and
think
our
that's asking
family
a lot.
to be happier than we are.
Sure, of course.
You know?
Well, I'm wondering if, you know, again, our generation has kind of fucked that up for this, our kids' generation, because there's no way they're getting the houses that, that we bought, you know, because everything's $1,200,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Who do you think invented fucking COVID? They did. They're trying to kill us off left and right. They figure the only way to
They're
get
going to inherit it.
Huh? You know, no one ever writes that story. Okay, you know, Fauci wasn't paid up, you know, anybody. You know, it's really there. How are we going to get rid of them? You know, and when they looked at the
And we
art,
do live long
we're
now,
living
don't we?
longer,
Oh my God.
and then, I mean, I've been to enough of seminars with really smart people. And I firmly believe that if you live another 15 years and you're somewhat healthy, you can almost live forever. And what if I'm half right? What's half of right?
You mean
anyway?
because
everything's going to be able to be replaced.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
And
Look where we were. Listen, it was only, what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago that the iPhone. I mean, now you're carrying around a freaking video.
So that's
a video recorder.
That's my point.
2007.
Yeah.
That's my point.
It's not that long ago.
And the stock was like $2 a share.
All right, and so it attacked two people. It attacked older people, right?
Right.
And unhealthy, overweight people.
Right.
And millennials hate those people
The
because
people that cost insurance companies the most money.
No, the people that hold up the lines in the restaurants at 6 o'clock. If we got rid of those people, we could go to the restaurants anytime that we wanted to.
So you think the restaurant people were behind it?
No, I think it's the younger people.
I think it's
They like
insurance
restaurants.
companies. They want to kill off the people that cost them money.
Yeah, but mine was a lot funnier. All
Listen,
right.
I went
Mine
to,
was a lot
I went to
funnier.
a birthday party last year. So the guy turned 60. And on this card that the
Turns how old?
the wife
I'm
bought,
sorry.
He turned 60. So on the card the wife bought. So he was born in 65, right? Or 64. The population in the world at the time was like 3.6 billion people. We've just crossed 8 billion. So in 60 years, we've doubled. More than doubled the population. The US population was like 208 million. We're over 340
We're
million.
340, 350.
So, I mean, when you look at the numbers and go, holy shit, I mean, 8 billion people are on the planet. You know, you can understand why a billionaire wants to commit some genocide and get rid of 2-3 billion. I mean, COVID killed what? 30 million? It's not enough.
Something like that. Saying 30 million.
Yeah.
That doesn't even put a dent.
No. I mean,
Well, let me ask you a question, now, and I'll tie it in. People bitch about athletes and making so much money,
56
especially boomers today, right? But if they made a lot less, would it really change their life?
Would it
No.
really change whose life? The player's life?
Well, your life.
Wouldn't-
Like if you're those people that bitch about how much
all right,
players make
maybe
and
I-
players made less, would it change your life? Yes or no?
his life
Possibly.
Anybody-
or the
life.
athlete's life?
No, not the athlete's life, your life.
No, what do you mean?
Well,
Okay, but everybody
possibly.
bitches about
The
it, right?
reason I say
So-
possibly is because if they make less money, it might cost you less money to go to a game.
It would be
Therefore,
better.
you might go to a game or two
Sure.
more than you do. That's the only way it would affect
Do you have coffee today?
you. Yeah, of course.
I see that. Now, my point being,
You know,
I don't think
there
the
was a
billionaires care if there's 1 billion less people or 2 billion less people, because
No,
I don't
they
think
don't.
it affects what they're doing anytime, at any point of any day. You know what I think they do? I think that they gets everybody upset and they sit there and laugh. Okay, let's assume it was us. All right, and we're a part of the World Forum, and we're the third part of the 30 richest people in the world, and we were like, how can we tool on everybody right now? Let's let them think that we want to kill them all. We got fucking bunkers underground, all right, and they're just drinking and getting high, and then they're right, and then just think about if it was us doing it, because we would do this.
That's exactly
We
what you would
would
do.
do this, right? And then we would say, like Howie Mandel, no,
Just
we would
a
do
goof.
this. But, and just to goof on everybody. I don't think they care. Everybody's going to die. I've done a lot of research, and everybody dies.
yes, we do die.
And when you think about it, the length of your life compared to whatever is just this, minuscule amount of time based on the history of time. And where was I going with this?
I have
had a
no
really good
idea.
point. I had a really good point.
You're just saying that. So
I'm gonna have to watch this again and
Even come back to your
basically what you're
point.
saying is, even if you had $10 billion,
And there's an
They
example.
don't care.
of
That's my
happens when
point.
you're
They
a
don't care. They're
boomer.
all
Why
fucking
would
tooling
anybody
on
care?
this.
You can't remember
Everybody's
shit.
tooling on this. All right,
That's-
or ripping us off.
That's
and
why-
Trump came in, and finally, that's why you want the richest son of a bitch in the world running the country. All right, because what incentive? Who can pay him off? Buy him off.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
All right.
They just
Because
buy him off with a
corruption.
$400 million plane.
Huh?
Didn't they just buy him off for the $400 million plane?
That's the most ridiculous story I ever heard.
But it's true.
No, I understand that. They gave him a gift of a $400 million plane. And they're saying, oh, it's a national security issue.
Well, because
and
they
all
have to
that.
retrofit the plane. Which is
Do
gonna
you
cost
honestly
$3.5 billion.
think that if you took a plane from them, that the federal government, the NSI and all that shit, is going to let the president on that plane and all that other stuff without searching the plane and sweeping the plane for
Well,
any
of
kind
course,
of
but
Of course they are.
But again, the U.S. government isn't going to own the plane. His library is going to own the plane at the end of the day.
He won't. Listen, he's not
So
an idiot.
isn't
He
that
won't-
currying favor?
Are you kidding me?
At least.
Are you kidding me?
You don't
With all
think
the
that
shit
is?
that goes on with these people,
I'm just saying. I mean,
what are they going to get out of it?
well, I know.
Would you?
What would Qatar
I
get out of
know,
it?
I know Jared was just over there, and they're already talking about building golf resorts.
But they've been talking about
Would you
that
rather
for
have your
years.
wife cheat on you in front of you or behind your back?
In front of me.
Okay, that's what he does. That's what he does.
You wanna
That's
watch
all.
that?
All right, they all do it.
At least it'd be up front.
They all do it.
See, I'm
And
not,
he's
I'm
up
not
front.
that cynical. I try not to think that everyone is a piece of shit. I really don't. I don't live my life thinking
No,
everyone's a piece of shit. So I don't go through life thinking they all do it. I understand a lot of them do. Don't get me wrong. A guy like Menendez should be shot and killed.
Oh.
And not that I'm saying that on this podcast that somebody should
Just
be
in
shot
case
and
he
killed.
does get shot and killed.
But I'm
It
just
wasn't
saying,
me.
I know there's a lot of really shitty people. There's also a lot of really good people who do a lot of really good work, and I'll give them as many kudos.
Yeah.
So I don't
But can you do both? See, this is the problem with our world.
No, I don't think you can do both.
I think you can do both.
I don't think you can. Listen, when
I could be a shitty
when I was a
neighbor.
buyer for a company, I had a $10 million pen. Would it be okay if a guy came over to me and said, "All right, you give me 100,000 yards of goods, and I'll give you a kickback of a nickel a yard"? And I'm like, well, I'm supposed to negotiate.
Happens a lot.
I know, but
Happens a lot.
Is it right?
Did you ever
I
do
actually
any
did.
business in New York City?
New York City's like
I
that.
actually never did it.
All over the place.
I would never do
I had a guy who went
But I'm just saying.
tons and tons of business.
it. Yeah, and eventually
tons
you
of
get
business.
caught, right?
I'm going to tell you a story about it, right? This guy came pretty much from nothing, made his way up, became a superintendent of an electric company in New York. I did tons of business back and forth with the guy. Occasionally he'd call me up and do shit like say, "Hey, do me a favor. Under this job number, send me 40,000 feet of this, and then tomorrow come and pick it back up." What? And then what will you give me for that 40,000 feet? Like stupid shit like that. And I'd be like, all right. Okay, we'll figure out the deal.
Yeah.
We'll do
You
it.
don't care because you're getting the order no matter
Now, I'm talking, that's 35, 40 years ago, right? And it went on, it still goes on in New York City till today.
I built out offices in New York.
after,
I got
it's
kickbacks
ridiculous.
from the-
After I got rid of, or got out of the industry and separated ways from him, I read an article in the paper about a whole bunch of people getting arrested. It started with the head of facilities for Bloomberg, who had the shady shit, and there was bid rigging going on, and I'm like, that guy did 18 months during COVID. During COVID.
That'd be a good time to do it if you're
Right?
going to do
Well, that's
time.
Well, but
you know, everybody's doing time.
But everybody got out of COVID. He went in.
Right.
For a white collar crime. So he goes in, and I didn't talk to this dude. This is kind of funny. I didn't talk to this dude for like, I don't know, 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I'm out of the industry. I had no reason to talk to him anymore. I get a phone call July 4th weekend, 3 years ago. He goes, "Hey, you buck-toothed beaver, big lip motherfucker." He starts spewing his stuff out. And I start cracking up laughing. It's not the first time I've heard that shit. You know, I thought it was kind of funny.
Monica
You
tells
didn't
me
say
that
anything
all the
about
time.
your herpes?
No. Because I didn't have it.
We'll cover that. But,
You don't have to cover it. I
poison
told you.
ivy in the
I got
eye
hit
all
in the
time.
mouth with my dog's leash today. But anyway, so this goes on for like 3-4 minutes where he just keeps railing me. And I go, listen, dude, I don't know who the fuck this is. It was funny for the first 3 minutes. You were making fun of me. But now you got to tell me who you are. I'm just going to fucking hang up. And he goes, it's fucking Conroy, you asshole. And I'm like, I go, where the fuck have you been? I haven't talked to you in 5 years. He goes, I just got out of jail.
Wow.
And I go, you just got out of jail and you're calling me? What the fuck? I was supposed to get together for lunch with him and kind of get really the gist of what happened. Right. And he canceled and then never hooked up. But he was.
He doesn't sound like a reliable guy to begin with. I mean, just with his resume.
He was an interesting guy. If he became tight with you, he was, you know, he'd call me up and he'd go, dude, what are you doing? It'd be around Christmas time. This is my customer. He'd call me up and he'd go, dude, what are you doing? I go, nothing, why? Well, come and meet me and my guys at Del Fresco's Steakhouse. Okay. I go to Del Fresco's Steakhouse. He'd buy them dinner, me dinner. We were doing shots of Louis Trez. Wow. And he put it all on his credit card. And that went on for years. And then, like I said, I got out and he was still, but he got caught up.
So again, John, see, there's a guy, you can take too much. Sort of like, you know, listen, you could go, I'm going to be a drug dealer. Sure, first couple of times you make a lot of money. But the problem is the money's very attractive and you go, I'm going to keep doing this.
Greed never stops.
No, and then you get some asshole who decides to turn on you.
Yeah.
So if you were able to make your shitload of money and get out, you're golden, but you'll never get out.
That shit was rife in Local 3 in New York. Like you said, you built, you know, and you take kickbacks and the shakedowns. And another guy who was a purchasing agent, I became very good friends with, one of the largest electrical contractors in New York City. And he did some things with me, but it was nickel dime crap. It really wasn't anything significant.
Right.
And, but he would ask me questions like, dude, would you ever have anybody like give you a check for, no, you don't do that.
Give you a check.
They send you out to dinner with your wife, that kind of stuff you get away with without a problem. You don't give anybody checks or anything. And if anything's going to go on like that, you cash. That's it. So it's never traceable. Well, somehow he was running this scam with a tool rental company in New York where he would give them purchase orders for $14,000 to rent tools that were never rented. And they'd kick him back like half of it.
Yeah.
And the guy who ran the tool company sold the tool company to another company. And they came in, and when they're doing their due diligence, they're like, this doesn't add up. Where's the inventory for these items that you're renting? Where's all that money and where's the equipment? And the sales manager told them what was going on, and the new owners of the company went to the owners of that electrical company and told them what was going on. So they showed up one day at work with the sheriff and all this other shit and said,
They knew what was going on.
They first they gave him a chance. They told him, they called him into the office and they said, this is on a Friday afternoon, they told him, you better have a check here on Monday for $750,000, which is what they estimated the number was that he shook out of it, or we're going to have you arrested. So he leaves, you know, and he deny. They went to his other half at the job, who's subservient to him.
Whodunit here.
It is.
And they shook him down until he, I guess, must have told him what was going on. And the dude ended up, you know, he got so stressed out from it. What am I going to do? Blah, blah, Well, he ended up dying like 6 months later.
Oh, really?
Heart, yeah, something with his heart.
A lot of stress.
Oh, that's the fucking saddest story. I couldn't believe he died at the end. Can you believe he died at the end?
You knew he was gonna die.
Holy shit.
You knew he was gone.
Can we get back to
What
bras?
was
Can we
weird
get
though
back
is
to bras?
his wife
I'd like to go
told
back to
me
bras.
To take this story of bras, so my first job in the bra business was I worked for a lace company and I learned how to knit lace and all that stuff. That was in North Jersey, which is no longer exists. But I went to
North Jersey doesn't exist any longer? Thank God.
No, the knitting company.
Oh, sorry. I thought I missed some news break right here. We've been
Fuck,
here.
I used to go to Jersey City. Jersey City had like 8 dye houses.
No, it's 8 what houses?
Dye houses. Like they were freaking dyeing and finishing goods and sending that shit into people's water.
What's a dye house? Hold on.
So
I'm missing
to
something
get the
here.
color on that T-shirt, you
Color.
gotta dye it.
Color.
That's
So
where
they
the
were
color
dumping
comes
it.
from.
They don't get
That's
that
why
from,
all
like-
It's
those.
dumping it into
That's
the
why
pipes.
all those waterways there
It's
are
all
so
gone. Oh,
disgusting.
my
They don't have
God.
different color cotton?
No, cotton
No,
comes out.
cotton-
That guy told me they always had different color cotton. And you have black cotton, green cotton, purple cotton.
Really?
They dye it, huh?
Yeah.
This guy's sharp as a tack. Are you trying to be Howie today?
I'm not trying to be anybody.
So when I started,
I think
like
that
in
poison
this-
ivy's affecting your brain.
so my uncle owned
What's
a
left?
molding company. So you guys obviously know what a seamless bra is, right? So there's in across the nipple there's no seam.
I didn't know that,
So this
to
was-
tell you the truth.
so
Did you
this-
know that?
This
Yes.
was
You knew that.
this was invented
Well,
by
I
my
see
main
what I-
character in the mid '60s.
He owns a
That-
couple.
I should own a couple. I
So
don't.
believe it or not, like it's a pretty funny story. But my uncle set up a bra molding. There was a bra molding company in California that he worked for, and I actually worked there when I was 15. He set up a company, and that was the company I managed his company. And what he would do is he had, so let's say Maidenform gives him an order for 1,000 dozen molded cups, all different sizes, right? And it's all graded and done, all molds are made. I mean, there's a lot of shit that has to be done to this thing, right? Well, the sizes, you got 32 to 38A, 32 to 38B, 32 to 38C, you know, the D cups.
Does areola size come into play at all?
Which one?
Areola.
Only in whether you like them or you don't.
No, they,
Yeah,
actually,
right.
they actually don't take they don't take the nipple into effect at all. They actually go over the nipple when they measure. So the bra sizing measure, I mean, I can get into that, is really fucked up. You know why they got a 34B? It's you measure across the bust, and let's say your number's 29 or 28, they add 5, and that's how they get the 34.
How did they add
How they
5?
do it.
That's just the system that was
That
created.
somebody
back
came
in the
up
day.
with. And they've
So
been
it's
doing it
from
ever
here to
since.
here?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Like if I had a really broad back,
So-
I could be like,
So they measure underneath the bust. So, you know, if you're
like
30
Tie it
inches,
up.
they add 5. You're a 35, so they make you either a 36
That's
or a
weird.
34. And then they measure across the bust, which gives you that measurement of
B
a
or
C
the
cup
C.
or a B cup or a D cup or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But anyway, so
it's a status thing.
So
what cup you have,
You've
though,
been in the
right?
business 40-something years.
Yeah.
Your dad was in the business.
Yeah.
Your uncle was in the business.
my dad got my uncle the job.
Does anybody know the name of the guy who came up with that formula?
No, I actually don't know the name of the guy that came up with the formula.
That's kind of weird. That's
Yeah.
kind of a weird, like.
I mean, there's an old wives' tale that I think the guy's name was like Harry Titslinger, who's the guy who invented the
Then
bra,
that's how the
which is
word
a complete
tits
lie.
was made.
Yeah,
It might have been
Titslinger was
French.
not.
It's like John Crapper invented
yeah,
the book.
he did not.
It could have been French, like Guy Brazier. Guy Brazier?
Could have been.
French?
How do you
No.
know French?
I had
Oh,
a.
that's right. We had this conversation
Yeah,
before.
yeah, ninth
When you
and 10th
pulled
grade
out,
was his
when you
reader.
pulled out La Bibliothèque on me, and I couldn't remember what it was.
That's right, and sang my French song, but that's a whole other show.
But anyway, just getting back to the stealing. So, Maidenform would give my uncle orders every week, right? So we do this molded bra. They would buy the raw, the raw material that we were molding from a knitter who was in New Hyde Park, New York.
So the
This
molds
guy-
are are material molds, not.
They're metal molds, aluminum. They're all, they're actually poured in a foundation, and
Remember the Tin Man? They come from the Tin Woman.
and then they get machined and they get set up on a machine because it has to be there's a male and a female, and you actually
Right, it presses-
you actually heat set the garment to
So
mold, and
it's-
then it gets cut.
It's actually, that's what I mean. The material itself,
Correct.
or what's getting pressed,
Right.
is actual textile material, like
Yes.
cloth.
So they would, Maidenform would buy from a knitter. We'd say, okay, the usage of this style for that bra of a pair of cups, because they're just getting the pair of cups. That goes along with the rest of the garment that gets cut, the backs, the fronts, all that stuff, the center, and then the hook and eyes and the elastic and all that stuff for the strap. The cups get sent along with everything to the Dominican to sew.
To be assembled.
So Maidenform gives this guy 1,000. We tell them, all right, it's a yard per dozen. That's what we're going to use, a yard of goods for a dozen pair. This guy sends us in goods. My uncle tells the guy, send me your seconds. So seconds are, every time you knit goods, you're going to get probably 5 to 8% seconds. So he would send us in the seconds. I'd mold that, and any bad pieces I'd cut out, like if there was a needle that was out or whatever, I would throw that in the garbage, but I would save.
Thank goodness.
So he would, so let's say the goods were $5 a yard, he'd send us the seconds for $1 a yard. And we quoted them a yard per dozen, and our yield was like 0.8 yards per dozen. Now we're getting 1,000 dozen a week. So I'm getting
Sounds like
1,000
you're making
yards.
cheap bras, though.
Yeah, but this is just a bra part.
Oh, the bra
So
part.
I'm getting 1,000 yards a week. I'm using the seconds, and I'm really only using 800 yards a week. So I've now taken 200 yards and stuck it on the shelf. I get the seconds in, I save another 200 yards. So at the end of the 1,000 yards,
Bra
I'm sorry.
business on the side.
So at the end of the 1,000 yards, I only use 600. So now I got 400 yards sitting on the thing. I go to the guy in New Hyde
So you
Park.
got another order.
I go to the guy in New Hyde Park. All right, I'm going to sell you back. The goods are $5 a yard. I'll sell you back for $250 a yard, the 400 yards, and then you sell them for next week's order for Maidenform 1,000 yards. You'd use the 400 yards, so now you only supply. So this is going on 52 weeks a year. Okay, so my uncle's getting 400 yards. He's getting $800 a week, cash in his pocket, and I'm fucking stealing for him. Because I'm the one managing this, and I ain't getting a fucking nickel. And I would say to my wife, I'm stealing for this motherfucker. This is my father's only brother, and I'm still. And then this fucking guy would treat me like absolute dirt. Like,
Didn't you say earlier
What
you
did he
wouldn't?
say? You're not smart enough to figure out that you're stealing from him?
my son was born, and I had to go back to fucking work. He wouldn't even give me the fucking day.
Wow, that's pretty cheap.
Didn't he say that he wouldn't take any kickbacks?
I didn't take it.
He didn't take it. He just
I was
said
stealing
that.
from my uncle.
He was pushing.
And then I had to
He
talk-
was pushing the product and the paper. For
And
his
I had to
uncle,
talk
but
to
the money was going
my
wrong.
uncle's partner about all this shit. He would say, where's the goods? What about the yield? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm lying to this fucking asshole. I mean, I could get into a whole story.
His partner
I could
knew
come up-
something was
Because
up.
his partner cut the rest of the parts. So this guy was stealing too. So he knew he was stealing. And my uncle once
All
told
in
me.
the bra business.
Yeah, my uncle once told me this guy
How does a crook
fucked him
know
over.
he's being stolen
He fucked him
from?
over on a cutting order because he was cutting like backs and centers. And my uncle said to me, he goes, "This guy fucked me once, I'll fuck him forever." That's what he told me. And I'm like, I'm coming home with my wife. I mean, I'm living in a 2-bedroom townhouse that we're renting, and raising my kids in this thing. And I'm making like $40 grand a year, working my ass off in this sweat fucking shop because the molds are all heated.
You
So
should have taken some of those fucking kickbacks.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything from your family?
Well, I ended up opening up my own. That's how I got into my own bra business. I opened up my own molding company. My uncle went to Florida to open up a company. He separated from his partner, and I went and opened up my own company. So this is just so. I mean,
Hold on, can we hold that thought? I think we all need a pee break and a refresh break,
this is fun.
and we'll get back into.
Yep.
I didn't think we'd be talking about
Time
kids
out.
all night.
I make it home.
Boomers Unplugged. We'll be back. Okay, we're back from our break. Boomers Unplugged. Dooley, Paycheck, and Terry hanging out, talking about bras. Now, right before we broke, you said you had an incredible story.
Yeah, so this is really, so I'm such an asshole. So I'm working with my uncle, right? So I'm with my uncle now for 5 years, and the guy is the biggest prick in the world. And I lived in Baldwin, Long Island, and he lived in Baldwin, Long Island, and he bought a house in Florida and was moving the business to Florida. He asked me if I want to go to Florida, and I said, no, I'm not going to Florida. So as this is going along, my brother was a bra designer for that private label company that I told you about, a company called Biflex. So my brother was saying, we need a purchasing agent. You're good with math. He goes, why don't you call Dale? I knew the owner, this guy Dale. Dale was probably 3 years older than me. My brother's 5 years older than me. He goes, why don't you call Dale and see if, he'll hire you. So I called this guy Dale while I'm working for my uncle. And I called this guy Dale and asked him, how he told me he needed a purchasing agent. And Dale always liked me. He goes, yeah. He goes, give me a couple of days, I'll get back to you. So anyway, I'm not saying anything to my uncle. I'm not going to Florida, but I don't really have a job. And I got my son at the time this is 1992. So my son is 2 and my wife is pregnant. At the time, I go partners with the salesman for my uncle's company and the partner that he has. This guy did cutting and sold fabrics. My uncle did molding. These are all parts of bra companies. The guy who has the cutting company, he's a very rich guy. So I go partners with this guy, Jamie, and we're gonna open up our own molding company. So I'm gonna do exactly what I was doing with my uncle, and this guy, Jamie, was gonna get me swimwear business because they buy bra cups too. So, and they're...
You would think, there's a top and a bottom.
And they brought... But swimwear business at the time bought standard cups, where everybody had their own shapes and sizes and their own fits.
And swimwears were standard?
Swimwear was all standard.
Just one size fits all?
They literally... No, there was multiple sizes, but one style. Like, they just would put the cup in that swimwear, so the garment and the cup would just be whatever cup, and I'm sure there was...
So it's the same cup size?
It was the same cup. Not the same cup.
Okay, same type model. It wasn't the pointy, the well-rounded.
So,
gotcha.
I stole molds from my uncle to start the business. I had a guy make me dyes who was our dye maker, making dyes. So when you're dyeing fabric, is colors. Dyes is dye cutting, is when you shoes.
Expensive dyes.
So these were metal dyes, and he'd have to bend them. So I got friendly with this guy Eddie, and he would make me dyes for $20 a pop. I stole molds. I would steal raw materials. So when I said I didn't steal, I'm lying. I stole. But because I was like really
pissed off. It was family because it was all right.
I was really pissed off at my uncle. So anyway.
What is that, stealing or getting even?
I was getting my just desserts. So anyway, I opened this business up. I tell my wife, she's 8 months pregnant. And I tell my wife, by the way, I'm going to start a new business.
Dive into the deep end.
I'm going to start a new business, and I'm interviewing for a job in Jersey, and I live in Long Island. So this guy Dale calls me back. He goes, I've always liked you. I love you, brother. He goes, and I love your father. He goes, come meet me. He tells me to meet him at the Halfway of Go-Go, which was next to the Meadowlands. So it's now called Reds. It's a place called Reds now.
It's a Go-Go?
At the time, it was a Go-Go place called the Halfway of Go-Go, and it was right off of Route 120, right there by the Meadows. So right by the stadium.
You need bras there?
No.
Okay.
Somewhere. Just tops.
So I tell my wife I'm going for it. So I work till 4 o'clock, and now I drive to Jersey from Oceanside, Long Island. I drive to Jersey, and I walk into this bar, and it was a bar that literally, like, the walls were like around the bar. The bar was this big rectangle, and maybe there was 2 feet of walking space. and then the walls were there. So it was just, and then in the
Sounds
middle,
like the Playhouse.
in the middle, there's 3 bartenders, and then then a stage with 2 girls are dancing. And thank God I left my glasses in the car, because Jesus Christ, these were fucking ugly girls. So anyway, I go, and there's my brother. He's sitting in the corner with this guy Steve, this guy Doc, and Dale. And I come over to my brother, give him a hug, and I go, Dale, what's up? And I meet him, and he goes, come with me. Now Dale, this guy Dale was fantastic. See, he was like 5'8", not heavy, but he looked like the Penguin in the original Batman. So you remember Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito, right.
Yeah, he had this long mane hair, and if he would wear like a long pea coat, he just like. So anyway, and this guy, and I've never seen a guy drink vodka like this guy. So apparently Dale was Jerry Garcia's acid supplier on the East Coast. And so Dale goes, come with me. And he walks me out this door, and I have my interview now
Outside of the
go-go joint at a dumpster. The dumpster is this 10-foot dumpster behind us, and we're in this cage, and trucks are driving by 120. You know, you can see the paddocks. The smell is horrendous. And I'm looking at him like, Dale, what are we doing? It stinks out here. And he goes, it's my home field advantage. Like, take it easy. He goes, you're going to ask me for a fortune, and I'm not going to pay it. He goes, I'm making you uncomfortable.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. You know what I hear? I hear they went to a go-go. They go behind the back
To the dumpster.
for a job interview, okay? Now, I don't know if it was a blow job, I don't know what kind of job, but I'm sure there's a lot of different job interviews.
No, he must have smoked
Went
3
on back
cigarettes
there.
in the interview because the stink was so bad. None of that. This place they just went to drink because their offices were in Gotham Park, which was right there by the Meadowlands. So it was a 2-minute drive. And I can tell you a lot of funny stories about this guy, but that's how I got the job. I interviewed at a go-go place. I'm driving home. You know, I asked for $75,000. This is 1992. I asked for $75,000. He goes, "We'll start you at 55." I still remember. He goes, "That's DiBiase money." I'm like, "Who the fuck is DiBiase?" and he starts me at. He goes, "I'll start you at 55, and I'll give you perks." He goes, "I'll take care of the bridges for you because I know you go a long way, and we'll see how it goes." I'm calling my wife. I have one of those, you know, the flip phones, the big phones, the bag phones. You remember those things?
Yeah. 59 cents a
I'm like
second.
driving on the turnpike, dialing my wife, and she's like, she answers, and I'm getting on in the background. I'm like, hello, and I'm getting dig, you know, I'm getting the fucking 7 Dwarfs in the background with the Disney sing along, and I'm like, hello, and so anyway.
So wait a minute here. You had to be devastated at that point. You're expecting 75. You're stealing all the molds.
I was thrilled because
You were thrilled to get 55?
Yeah, I was thrilled to just I had a job. Listen, I had one kid and one kid on the way. Like, she was due any day, and I'm like, at least I got a job. And then I told my uncle, I'm leaving. You know, at least I had a job set up, you know.
Right, because if he goes to Florida,
I had
you have
nothing. I had fucking nothing. I mean, you know, I started this business with every nickel that I had. A friend of my father's lent me 25 grand from, because he was president of Republic Bank, and another fucking crook, by the way. But yeah, he never put it on the books. Like, he gave me this loan, and it was never on the books.
So
Stereo money, yeah.
I mean, this is 1990, so who the fuck?
Did you pay him back? Did you?
did pay him
Wait a
back.
minute. If it's not on the book, did you get?
I paid him back.
Back then, you got a coupon book.
Yeah.
Remember that? You had
He
to
gave-
pay.
Yep. You had to write
Did you
it.
get a coupon
I
book?
never got a coupon book.
What did you get? How did
He
you-
gave me, his secretary sent me.
It was his fucking
Like
uncle.
a
Note, like a receipt.
Yeah, it was
pay
weird.
this.
It was
It,
really
it,
weird.
it turned out to be his uncle collecting the cash from him again.
Well, this is funny.
The same guy.
So
Right?
I opened my own business, and we're doing well, right? And I'm working now for this company, Biflex. I start with them, and I'm doing well with my own business. And I finally, so back in the day when we had a factory in the Philippines, and when you had, so I handled all their shipments to the Dominican. I had to literally go down there and pack with this guy Walter and put goods together and say, okay, we'll put it on the container, load up the container, it's going. And I had my girl Joanne take care of all the paperwork and all that stuff. There's a lot of work to do. Anyway, so I fuck up a shipment with this. You had to have shipments inspected before shipping them to the Philippines back in the day. So
where were they coming from?
They were local U.S. goods.
Going to
ship them to the Philippines. They go to a bonded warehouse, but it had to be inspected. So this company SGS was a third-party inspector.
Were they crooks too? Could you pay them off?
I could not.
No.
So I have them come and inspect the goods. I tell this guy, Dale's father, Frank, that so my office was Howie, my brother's design office. My brother had a huge design room the size of his kitchen with 30 sewing machines, and then my office was next to his, and then there was a staircase, and then Dale's office and his dad's office. So that we're probably 30, 40 feet away from each other. And I screw up I have a flight set up for the goods. The SGS inspector comes in and I fucked up the paperwork. It wasn't me, but my team fucked up the paperwork. So the paperwork didn't match. So the SGS inspector said, I can't let you ship this tonight. I said, can you come back tomorrow? He says, I'll be back at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Just make sure you get the paperwork and all. So now I got to call the vendor and all that stuff. So I go down to Dale's father, Frank, who was just a real douchebag.
Do you know any nice people?
No, that's what I mean.
You know a lot of fucking douchebags.
I think it's a problem.
So this guy, I'm like in my office working. I call Frank and I say, the shipment's not going to go today. It'll go tomorrow or the day after. And I overhear him now talking to the manager of the Philippine factory, who's this Armenian guy named Armin, who is a complete fucking lunatic. But this guy, I hear Frank talking, he goes, the fucking kid is brain dead. I hear
talking
this.
About you?
Yeah, and I knew he was talking about me because,
You're the only kid?
Yeah, and I hear this, and Frank didn't want to hire me. Dale hired me. And Frank didn't want it because he thought I was too young.
So Frank's saying you're brain dead.
Yeah,
obviously.
he yells, the fucking kid is brain dead. So that fucking, it's now like 4:30 and I'm still working because we started at 8. And I'm still working and I finally, I close the bed, fuck him. And I literally give 2 fingers, I run down the staircase. I come home, my wife is now, Nikki was born. And Nikki was colicky, so my wife is a disaster. And I have this business that I'm running, and I'm going to the business, and I'm never home. And my wife is the same. And I come home to her, and I walk home to it's a disaster. The kids are a mess. I said, listen, can I talk to you later? I'll bathe the kids, and then we'll put them to bed, and then I got to talk to you. So I have this conversation with her. I said. I think I tell her about the brain dead comment. I said, I can't work for this fucking guy anymore. Fuck him. I said, I got to concentrate on my own business and do it. And my wife was the same. She's like, whatever you got to do, but you got to understand, you're now not
it's not just you and me, Tara.
And I can't help you. I got 2 kids that I can't help.
Now, did you steal the molds back again from him? And
no, I had the mold.
Oh, you kept them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I was making new ones and all this stuff. So I walk in.
Like
I talk to my wife and I tell her I'm going to quit the job.
Bras.
And she's like, "You sure?" I said, "I'm going to quit. I can't take working for this fucking guy." So I'm up all night thinking about how am I going to talk to this fucking guy Dale. I'm 28 years old. I've got no fucking career. I've got this business I started.
Took a job outside of a dumpster and a go-go bar.
Yeah, I was there for 3 months or 2 months or whatever, 3 months. And so I go in 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm a wreck. And I get in and I sit down and I get on the phone and I said, Dale, can I see you for a minute? And he says, sure, give me 5 minutes, I'll be down. So he comes down, he sits down. And I said to him, I go, listen, you gave me a great opportunity and this is fantastic. I love it here, but I started my own business and I'm giving you my notice. And he goes, what kind of business you start? I said, a molding company. Molding company. I said, yeah. He goes, does Howie know about it? And I said, no, I didn't tell him. He goes, your brother doesn't know about it? You started your own business? I said, no, I didn't. I just did this with myself, and I started it, and it's doing pretty well, and I've got to spend more time in it. He goes, why don't you be my molder? I said, what do you mean? He goes, mold for me, because I'm giving now orders to other molding companies, and I'm a molder, but I wasn't going to sell, try to be the
push
molder of my company. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, be my molder. And he leans back, and he leans back to the doorway, and he yells, Frank, come in here. So Frank comes walking down, and he goes, Frank, sit down. And now I'm not saying anything. I'm sitting there. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? He goes, Terry opened up a molding company. And Frank looks at him and he goes, really? Yeah, he wants to leave us. He goes, why does he want to leave us? He's doing a great job. I'm looking at him like,
is this the same dumb kid you're talking about?
You just called me fucking brain dead last night. And, and Frank then says, so why doesn't he be your molder? And I'm like, what is going on here? Wait. So Dale says, all right, settled. I said, what's settled? He goes, you stay, you keep doing your job, and you'll be our molder. I said, so I'm just going to keep working here and run my own business? He goes, yeah, you go do whatever you got to do with your business. Anytime you got to go, you go. Just let me know what you're doing, you go. You got to take off the day and be at the business? He goes, you go. And I'm like, that's okay with you? He goes, yeah.
That's phenomenal.
And he says to me, he goes, this is the Hotel California. And I'm like, what? He goes, you can check out any time, but you can never leave. I'm like, wait a minute. And then he leans back again. He goes, Howie, come in. So my brother comes in. He goes, did you know your brother opened up a molding company? My brother goes, no. He goes, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, hey, he's got his own molding company. He goes, I want you to start designing all the patterns, give everything to your brother. You work with your brother. And I said, Taylor, so you want me to give orders to myself? He goes, yeah. I said, wait, I'm going to buy from myself. He goes, well, when you put it that way, it doesn't sound that great. He goes, yes. He goes, you have your company. I'm going to do all my molding. He goes, I'm trusting all these fucking idiots. I'm not going to trust Richie with my shit. I'd rather trust you.
Now, I'm the Polish guy to play here, so bear with me.
Yeah.
So did you have like your own brick and mortar
I had my own brick and mortar. I was located in Long Island.
So how did you finance? How much did it cost you? To get your own.
It cost you.
I'm gonna make molds of boobs.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
It cost me.
This is.
The guy loaned me 25. My partner at the time gave me 10, and I put in 20. So that's what we did it all with. Copy machines, office equipment.
You and your brother?
No, this other guy, partner.
Oh,
this
your
compact
brother.
Computer.
Because your brother was like a competitor, right?
No, my brother is a designer for this company.
Yeah, but why didn't they tell your brother? You didn't really like your brother, did you?
No, I love my brother.
No, you didn't like him right then.
No, because I didn't want anything to get back to my uncle. And
And you didn't trust your brother then?
No, I didn't trust anybody. I just kept it.
I remember talking about your brother.
Say you don't like to be cynical.
Yeah.
All right, your brother's not going to watch this, but no.
No, he can watch this. He knows the story as good as anybody.
He didn't trust you. Trust me.
The funniest thing is after all this happens, right?
He's in fantasy.
Howie comes back to the office. He goes, we're going to the Meadowlands for lunch. I'm buying. He goes, yeah, tell me what the fuck.
What the hell just happened?
So, because we were 5 minutes from the Meadowlands, and we'd go upstairs and bet some horses and have lunch. They had a little like.
You like horses?
Love the horses.
Oh, you should go to the track with him sometime.
I want to.
Watch a bet.
Are you kidding me? I love it. My brother is
I've been
absurd with the track.
Breeders' Cup Derby, everywhere.
Yeah. So my brother watches races all day long, even now. You've never seen a guy like this committed. He gave me the winner at the Derby.
Really?
$17 horse. I didn't make enough money on it.
$17 horse?
Yeah, the horse Socrates won paid $17. $7.50 to place. I had 20 place on. I should, but I bet a bunch of exactas. I mean, Howie's great. My brother's really the best time I ever had with him. We were in Hong Kong, and so now skip forward. We're in business together, And we're in Hong Kong, and in Hong Kong they run the other way. So it's like,
Oh, really?
like in England they drive the
run-
cars in.
they
So
run
the-
clockwise.
So in Hong Kong they only
Like the
run
banister, dude.
they only run Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's it. So in the U.S. you got everything
Every day.
Everything's simulcasting. There's races all the fucking time. Hong Kong twice a week. That's it. So we go to this place called Happy Valley. 90,000 people there, and we start out, and I forgot, probably April we were there, maybe March. And my brother goes, we got to bet all European horses because they send the horses to Europe to Hong Kong from Europe to keep them in shape.
Yeah.
Right, so we're there, and I go, Howard, we gotta like find a restaurant, to go so we can hunker down. We find this beautiful restaurant. We sit down, just the two of us. They come over, they take your bets with a little fun.
Cool.
This is in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, but they got
2004.
technology over there.
Yeah, we didn't have this. So
you didn't have to get up.
You never had to get up to place a bet. We're sitting there
Sweat it
studying. We get up to watch the race on the TV or go out. We hit 8 exactors in a row. 8.
8 exactors.
I only had one day of my life
We
like that.
fucking
One day.
killed it. We made like $3,000 for the day. We didn't even make enough money, but we made like $3,000, which covered the entire.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
We had a great time. We were laughing, drinking. It was awesome.
I
And that was just based on betting on European horses.
Yeah, he bet all, and he knows what he's doing, and he was handicapping and reading. You read the papers.
Once your series goes public, we'll have to go to the track and celebrate, and
I haven't been to the track in years.
Oh, it's great.
Years.
I went with
my
Keith.
wife and I owned. Well,
That's the last time I was at the
Yeah, 'cause
track.
he owned
in
horses.
Monmouth. His horse won
who
when we
does?
went to Monmouth.
whose horse?
Keith Trotter won at Monmouth.
Oh,
Is it Monmouth?
Mom,
Yeah, Monmouth.
No, it's not
probably
Trotter.
Freehold.
No.
because
It might have been it was Freehold.
And,
Sorry,
they,
Freehold.
and they closed
It was
Freehold.
Freehold.
Monmouth is
Yeah,
a great time.
Freehold is
Yeah.
gone.
Monmouth, you can go with a cooler of beer,
Yeah,
and sandwiches.
yeah,
Yeah, no, he always
Sit out in
ran
the
Trotter,
back.
so it
that
had to be
was-
Freehold.
Yeah, that's like
Because there were his
Major
brothers.
Leagues versus
Yeah.
Pony Bowl.
Yeah, well, the horses that he had were always like 20, 30 grand claimer type horses.
That place, Biflex, was a very dangerous place for my brother to work because he literally was 2 minutes from
From the track.
the Meadowlands. Well, the funniest thing is, so his first marriage, he was working at this company, Biflex. His wife at the time was a fucking lunatic.
Been up in the club at the Meadowlands.
The top
100 times,
yeah,
100
so,
times.
So in the daytime, there's this top area that's great. You get your lunch, and it's really, really nice. Nice bar, everything. Anyway, his wife,
That's what I'm talking about.
his wife at the time was fucking lunatic. Like I've seen this woman just like walk out on him, and like 20 degrees outside without a coat. And I call him an hour later, from a deli, come pick me up. What the fuck?
You know why? You know why she can do that without a coat? She bought that fucking bra. Sorry, that bra. This just keeps your
special
war.
bra.
That special
So
bra.
anyway, and John, you'll appreciate this. So he's working at Biflex now for like just maybe 3-4 months, and he gets really friendly with the guy Dale. And at 4 o'clock, they all went to the Halfway a Go-Go for a drink. Like Dale was friends with the owner, Red, and they'd get drinks, all this stuff. So they'd sit and have a
So
couple.
it's still owned by the same guy? It's just not
Yeah,
owned
it's
for a
not
go-go?
the family.
How
It's
many
called
years
Reds.
now is this
This
go-go
was
place involved?
This was in the late 80s.
And it's still
It's now Reds. It's a restaurant.
Reds.
I think they have another one in New Brunswick. I don't know. They may have a couple. But anyway, so Howie's going to this place at 4 o'clock, and then they lived in Glen Rock. He'd be home at 5:30. His wife's coming home on a train. She's home at 5:30, but she got pissed off at him because he's always going out drinking with the boss. But he's drinking with the boss. What's so bad? He's with the boss.
I don't see the problem.
So she gets all pissed. One day, Howie's at Sears in Chicago, and he's like doing a sales presentation because he's a designer, and the salesman.
That's the place to be.
Would take his
Yeah.
designer with him. He's in Chicago. He comes home. The fucking house is empty. Everything, furniture, everything's gone. She left him one roll of toilet paper and his racing forms, but.
As long as the racing
And he
clothes are there.
finds this paperwork on the floor, and it says she moved to Plainsboro, New Jersey. She literally moved out while he was at Sears. Took every fucking thing.
So I take it they got divorced.
Yes. Greatest day of his life. That's what drinking will do with the halfway go-go.
So drinking will do more than
I
just
don't
the
think it
halfway
was
go.
just the drinking. Like if you went there and had a couple drinks every day and just left, and you appreciated the atmosphere.
Johnny,
laugh.
I'm telling you, these were the ugliest women. These were not strippers. they weren't good enough to call themselves strippers.
That's nasty. That's
Look.
nasty. They got a place. You ever go to Sugar and Spice over the bridge?
No, the only place I ever went to was
It's
Playboy.
now called the Border.
In Pensy?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Tim used to go there all
Is the
the time.
Playpen still open?
Playpen or Playhouse?
Playhouse.
Yeah, it's
The
still
one in Bordentown.
that's still there.
Oh, Burlington.
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 That's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
So
Have you been there, Johnny Paycheck?
I want you to think about something. There had to be models somewhere to make these molds, or
Of course
Yeah.
there were.
I
Tell you
mean,
about the models. So the model, yes.
He wants to hear the titties.
So my wife was very funny. I took it to, so in the bra business, we had this thing called the Femi Awards. So it wasn't the Emmy Awards, it was the Femi Awards. So there were clubs in the industry, and actually the industry was, that's when it was nice. When there were,
Fun.
people that they would.
what year are we talking about in Manhattan?
This was in the late 80s, early 90s.
I was in Manhattan. When did I start going there? 93.
Okay.
93.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around the same time.
Uh-huh.
And there was a lot of industry, and the bra business was always a great industry. You'd be 85 years old, they'd give you a job. Like, people were good to people. It really was very good to people. They didn't just treat old people like shit. But now it's awful. But in those days, you'd go to this.
That was all that section of Manhattan, right?
It was we were on from like 40th Street, Broadway, 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To like
Garment
32nd.
district.
Yeah. It's all in the Garment District.
Yeah.
that's
And
where
I
it
remember
came
I remember I
right
took my
across
wife
from
to a
Broadway.
Femi Award, and all the models, I knew all of them. They would introduce themselves to her. I'm the 34C model. I'm the 34B model.
That's funny.
I'm the 34D model.
Damn.
And
So nobody came up and said, I'm the 69 model.
no.
All right, that was
Never.
good. You're good. That's why you've
Never
been
that.
married for 39 years, bro.
Yeah.
The dog always comes in and makes an appearance during the
Hey,
show.
listen, we had the
At least it's
original,
just a dog and not
the
a
original
cow.
St. Pauli girl on the bottom.
The St. Pauli girl with the blue outfit, the blonde hair, there was really a girl that was in a caricature?
Katie was the 34C model.
She was 34C.
She was the original. Katie was the original St. Pauli girl.
So,
on that
like,
bottom. And she was a 34C bra model.
you're out in public,
Yeah.
right?
That's a nice bra, 34C.
Yeah.
It's,
she was really hot looking. I mean, now she's an old woman, but she was
It's-
very hot looking.
It's warm enough that the jackets are off, but it's cool enough that the headlights are on.
Look at him.
Do you go out and try to guess what everybody is? That's a 34C, that's a 32
It
gig.
used to be a Paula trick back.
So
then.
no. The reason is my original job out of college. I was the original Al Bundy. I was in women's shoes,
Shoes? Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Shoes? That would have been
and I still today look at and shoe size, and you can tell, like, well, you got to see a couple pair of shoes, so, like the consistency of a woman's shoes, to really understand what she thinks about her feet. Am I hiding something? Do I have a strap that covered his bunion? Do I have a wide front and a small heel? That's like the worst thing in the world. All right, because then you really can't fit in anything. And when that whole era of the pointy shoes were in, holy shit. They were some of the
He
ugliest
knows
feet
as much
stuffed in
about
the
shoes as you do about
All right.
dogs.
I love
And,
shoes. by the way.
and there's nothing
Yeah, I get it.
I always had a shoe fetish.
There's nothing sexier than toe
Nothing
cleavage.
better.
Toe cleavage? You like toe cleavage?
I was always a
Shoes.
boot guy. I love boots.
That's not a foot fetish if it has a fucking boot on it.
Why not? That's it. That's a
No,
shoe.
that's a-
I said a shoe fetish.
No, that's not even a
He
shoe.
did
What is
say
it?
a shoe fetish.
What is it?
It's a boot.
Okay, so
It's a boot. That's
All right,
a
so
boot. I'm
yeah,
just
all right.
saying.
Now we can have that discussion.
But
Is
there's
a boot a shoe? Is a shoe a bigger
I would think a
category?
boot
I'm just going to
Shoe.
make one statement. I'm going to
listen.
connect
I'm not going to.
I would say anything you wear on your foot is a shoe.
There is no toe cleavage in a boot.
So where do you do?
No,
You
there
go
Well,
to?
that's my case.
But do you go to a
Prove me
boot?
wrong.
Wait a second.
Don't you go to a shoe store to buy a boot? You don't
I
go to a
think-
boot store?
I think I could prove you wrong.
Well, it depends where you go. Like, you've been in Nashville, you go to a
I
boot
think
store.
I could prove
Oh, okay.
you
So
wrong.
that's like a cowboy boot thing, which, by the way, is not bad either.
It's not a
But-
cowboy boot. It's a boot.
My wife has
Okay?
my
You
wife
call
has-
them
I'm talking about
being
like the
a Yankee,
stilettos.
you know, guy from Brooklyn. You call them cowboy boots.
My wife has
Those are
boots with
boots.
a peep toe.
Huh?
My wife has boots with a peep toe.
The peep toe?
Yeah, you know, toe cleavage where the toes show. Is that what
All
you're
the
talking about?
toes? No, I'm
just-
talking like a nice pump that covers the toes, and then you look and you just see the little
Oh, this part.
toe cleavage.
Okay.
Yes.
No,
No.
I said peep toe, not toe.
There's no
Can't have a
toe
boot with
cleavage in a
a
boot.
peep toe. No.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you.
That's all I'm saying. Now, let me ask you: did you ever think of getting into another, like the jock business? I think it has a lot in common with the bra business, right? You're holding up two
We
things.
make panties. I do make a men's underwear.
What do you think of Tommy John?
The fucking guy's a genius. So
I have a pair of
I
Tommy
wish
Johns on
I
right
don't.
now.
I don't particularly like the
I love
product,
Tommy
but
John.
I always said, and this is like,
And we're not getting paid by Tommy John.
but this is like 40 years. I've said. I've told my wife if I just spent money to advertise on Howard Stern, okay, because that guy gets all these people and women listen to him, and that fucking guy, you know, he would sell underwear. I always told my wife. That fucking guy, but I never had money to advertise with him. Tommy John advertised.
My roommate from
They
college.
made their business because of him.
Where do you hear this?
He was doing Tommy John commercials when they just started.
Where do you hear this?
That's a big company
Killed
now.
My roommate from college sold advertising for Howard Stern.
Oh, I wish I knew him.
Are we talking the same roommate I know?
No, that's Phil.
What college you go to?
That's Dr. Phil. I went to Muhlenberg College.
Okay.
Back when it was all pre-med and pre-law. I was a math
And
major.
I was going to say, how'd you get there?
Me and seven others. Me and seven others.
All right, you did fine.
Well, Lafayette wanted me to play football. Lehigh wanted me to play baseball. Muhlenberg said, come there and play both. I said, okay. And that was it. And then in math, all right, you don't have to write any papers.
No.
Now today with ChatGPT, like, any of you have kids in college or know anybody
No,
that has
not
kids
in
in college?
college.
or
Nowadays,
Not anymore.
Oh my God. It's either open book or, think about that, open book.
So then why go?
Shit, back in our day, they
For the
wouldn't
same
even-
fucking reason we went. That's
they
why.
wouldn't even let us use a calculator.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And for papers, they all use ChatGPT or
That's
Grok.
crazy.
Grok is
What's the
best.
sense? That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
I think that
Well, that's what do you
ChatGPT is
think?
just cheating.
What do you?
So basically they're teaching you the appropriate way to use AI. They're not teaching you anything.
So I just saw something the other day. It was a girl that was homeschooled, went to school, public school for second grade, graduated, passed a college degree at 18 years old, and said she did everything off of like AI or Google
Isn't that
until it got
horseshit,
to
isn't it?
AI.
Isn't that horseshit?
Huh?
So I could call myself a writer and say I got this thing, and I could give this
Why not?
concept to ChatGPT,
And now-
and
but-
it writes
And it could write it.
Yeah, and it would you know, correct that. I mean, everything's going through
But
that
is it
today.
funny? It doesn't have the human funniness to it.
It is not funny. I tried to get
Right?
It
funny
doesn't
shit.
get sense of humor.
Yeah. So what?
Like I am
what is it?
funnier than ChatGPT.
Listen, you
Because,
could-
if you think about it, sense of humor is not just one thing that
No,
makes you laugh.
It's your inflection.
It's
different.
It's different for everybody.
Whatever makes people laugh. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, we're talking about stuff here. We're just laughing.
We're talking about. I didn't think. I didn't wake up this morning and said, you know what? I'm going to spend a couple hours tonight talking about bras.
You know what I said?
Everybody wants
I
to
said
talk
Terry's
about
coming here tonight. All we're going to do is talk about bras.
You did say that.
Once he goes, I didn't say it to you. I said it to myself.
Yeah, but you didn't know I would actually be buying from myself. I mean, that's impressive.
Look,
You gotta admit, on the scheme of things, that's pretty fucking impressive.
look.
I've never heard that ever.
If I walk away with anything tonight,
I'm a purchasing
I am
agent. Who
so
do you buy from? Myself.
This fucking guy's been cutting me off all night. All night. All right? He's got herpes on his fucking lips. All right? I got fucking, fucking
Listen.
stink eye. I got poison
Listen,
ivy.
poison ivy
I'm all
eye.
banged up over here, these, boomers.
Stop winking
All
at me.
right, but you're a fucking amazing guy. And I met your wife, and
It's very
she
nice of you to
is
say.
she
I
is
appreciate
wonderful.
that. She is.
No, I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
All right, I never got a chance to tell you this, but then meeting you and then just hearing, your success, and then you
I
had
don't
your
know if
first
I'm
grandkid.
successful, but whatever.
I'd say you're pretty successful. Life looks pretty
We
good.
already fucking
That works.
established that 99% of the people in the world would
Well,
trade
that's
places
true.
with you, bro.
That is true.
All right, and I know you've gone through some trials and tribulations, and
But who hasn't?
well, look, everybody has, right? And
That's life, right?
Yeah.
Lots of ups and
Look.
lots of downs.
look, the one thing that we're blessed is, we have different views, different, beliefs, different everything, but we're blessed to have a family, all of us, that lives on, and that's us. Like, through our families, we live forever.
Does he do this on every podcast?
No.
This is the first time I've seen this.
Is he gonna make us? Is he gonna make us
It's
cry?
quite interesting. I haven't seen this. I know the guy almost 30 years.
I think
It's the
I'm gonna-
first time I've seen this side of
I
him.
think I'm gonna start to cry.
I think I feel like crying a little bit, but no, I mean, just
See what happens when you start talking about bras? You turn into a woman.
Wow. Wow.
well, look, I still don't understand how the fuck, okay, the mold guy, all right, the stretch guy, the Biflex,
Yeah.
Biflex,
We
right?
were just the bra.
Biflex. What
What
about
don't
that?
you get?
What about the guy that connects the shit? Who's that guy?
He's a
Who's
sewer.
that guy?
It's a woman
A
problem.
sewer.
It's a sewer.
The sewer?
Yeah.
Is it like any
I got
sewer?
140
Is it
sewers
like-
in China right now, sewing
They
garments.
sit in a sewing machine and go, "Fruit."
Like, why do they do all the same ones? Like, isn't there anything
There
else?
is different. No, there's a million different products. Walk at the Kohl's. There's 9,000 bras on the floor.
Well, look, I'm not in the business of trying to get bras off. I don't go to
My
the...
wife used to say, do you have to
Go to
walk into the
clubs, I
fucking
don't.
bra at department again? I'd walk into Macy's. I'd be looking at bras. And
You're looking at
Who
the
is that
bras.
fucking guy? What is he doing?
Every movie you
It's
see...
funny. You go into a store with your wife and you're the one looking at the bras.
I used to wheel my kids in with the stroller into the bra area.
It's hysterical.
The one consistency about movies over the last 30 years is guys can't take off a bra.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to Animal House...
I love
all
the Animal House thing is the greatest thing. That's what isn't that with the devil? The fucker.
So, the first time I went to Animal House, this is really
Such a great
good
movie.
story, right? Animal House was playing at midnight up in Allentown, right? So all the fraternity brothers get together. We're going to go up there, right? We get up there, 11:45. Of course, it's sold out.
Right.
All right. We're like, oh, I have a great idea. What's that? Let's just hang out for about 10 minutes, and right when the movie gets started, we'll go down, those front doors where, the emergency exits, we'll bang on them and let us in. Great idea, Buse. Let's go. Paycheck, yeah. So we go over, right? Bang on the doors. Wrong door. It was the hallway. The security guard opens it. Get the hell out of here. They're like, I said, come on. Let's try
go
one more
another
door.
door.
So I bang on the door, right? I hear about 50 people yell, come in! And the door bursts open, and we're at the bottom of the movie theater, right? So you're just going to jump in the front row. So I get in the front row, right? My 3 friends jump. There's no seats, so they're sitting on the floor. On the floor. I look to the left of me. There's a guy in leotards, black lipstick, black wig. I look over here. Here's a guy dressed like in gold with a blonde wig.
Like seeing Rocky Horror.
I'm in the
Picture
fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show. All right. And by the way,
That's a horrendous movie.
I never liked
I am one of the biggest Rocky Horror Picture fans in the
So
world.
is my
And if
wife.
you
She
haven't
loves
gone seen it at the New
I've
Hope
never done it.
Playhouse,
It's fantastic.
it is unbelievable. Ariana Grande, her brother, plays the lead role.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, and she was there the one year that I was there, and the mother's there at every performance. Anyway,
See, I wouldn't have you pegged as a Rocky Horror Picture Show lover.
oh my God, I yell.
My wife
I-
made me watch
I
that
have
movie. I'm like,
lines.
this is the worst fucking movie I have ever seen.
You
I have
can't
never
watch the
seen a
movie. There's no reason to watch the movie.
It's horrendous.
It's a terrible movie.
Where's his freaking neck? Right?
But you go into the movie theater. I'll tell you another quick story. So I'm in Universal Studios. My son's like 11, maybe 10. All right. And as we're coming out of Universal, we're staying right there somewhere, one of the places.
Yeah.
And I see Rocky Horror Picture Show live. It just says it and you know it's a movie theater.
And you said-
Rocky Horror
you said,
Picture
"I
Show
gotta go."
live. I say, oh, this is going to be great. This is so much fun because of the audience participation.
Right.
So I go with me, my son, my ex-mother-in-law, and her sister, who used to be a nun. The live part is people in front of the movie screen. So think of it playing on the movie
Right.
screen. People in the front acting it out without saying anything, just,
right.
like, mimicking the most perverted things you've ever seen in your life.
And you got your 11-year-old son there.
And my mother-in-law and her sister, they're not.
Well, listen.
So no,
it
I
wasn't
lean
you who
over.
did it.
10 minutes into it, 10 minutes. I lean over and I'm like, do you want to go? And they both look at me and like, no!
This is great.
And you were like, I'll stay.
So when I left, I had to tell, JT, don't tell your mother.
Right.
So now just
Don't say
getting
anything.
back to
It was the
Animal
most
House for a second.
perverted thing
That's the,
I've ever seen. Now you go to the New Hope Theater,
right.
okay, Bucks County Playhouse.
It's not perverted at all.
It is one of the greatest shows you'll ever watch, and the theme song, the Time Warp. Let's do. So at the end, they bring up sections, and the whole audience gets to do the Time Warp with the whole audience as well. If your
Chris,
wife
you
loves
never,
it.
Chris, you never did that, right?
No.
My wife did it like 50 times. We used to have a
But
place
you
in
got to
Long
take
Island
her.
called-
You got
called
to.
I don't
I'm
want
going to
to.
follow up with you on this.
No, I don't want to.
No. Then I'm
We
taking her.
used
I'm
to have
taking
a place
her.
called
Can I
Mini
take her?
Cinema.
My wife and
You
I.
could take, yes.
Okay.
She would go. The
All
Mini
right.
Cinema, which was in Uniondale, where Nassau Coliseum is. And so they would show concert movies. They showed, what was the weed movie? There was one.
Reefer Madness?
Reefer Madness. They would show that. They showed, like Kentucky Fried Movie and stuff like that. You could see all
It's another one I watched
off-color.
recently. I'm
And-
like, man, this movie sucks.
Yeah, but back in the
It was a cult
Didn't they do like a
classic.
20? But Chevy was in the Groove too.
Yep.
But didn't they do like a 20-minute
His
Bruce
best
Lee
movie
thing in
is
the middle of
Fletch.
I love the
Fletch
Groove
is
too.
hysterical.
But have
You
you
like the
watched?
Groove too, man?
Have you guys watched Animal House with your kids?
No. I don't watch any R-rated movies with
So-
my kids ever.
Really? I
Ever.
mean, Animal House is so
Ever.
tame.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's,
it really is.
there's a boob scene.
That's a great scene.
All right, well,
Isn't that
the bra popped off.
She was gonna make
They
me.
finally got the bra off. He
Yeah,
was
she-
working
she
on the
was
bra
gonna
the
make me
whole
a-
time. There was
So that's
another
the bra
scene.
you should work on.
She had.
Like that movie would have been 20
That girl
minutes
had
less.
unbelievable tits.
They were nice.
They were.
They were quite nice.
If
Well, that's if you're going to show your tits on TV.
if you could have got the bra off, the movie would have been 20 minutes
Come on,
shorter.
that's-
though. That's all I'm going to say. Every
Like,
fucking movie.
How many times have chicks showed their tits on in a movie
Right.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah, sometimes.
they're really not that nice.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be nicer.
Jamie
Chicks hot.
Jamie
Terrible
talking
tits.
about-
Jamie Lee Curtis was memorable.
She's got
Yeah,
fantastic.
they were-
Trading Places.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
my
a
God.
memorable. shows him twice in that movie.
Fast Times at
Another
Ridgemont.
set of nice
That's
words.
the only one.
Now,
Gates.
now the other one
That is. Hold
that-
on. That's the benchmark. All right.
Very nice.
Can you beat the benchmark? Can you beat the benchmark?
I'm gonna go with, so when I was a kid, we first got cable. This was like 1978.
Did you have the
So
Did you have
yeah,
the
we had
box?
the button box.
I
And
never.
I can tell a story about the button box, but I remember
You were rich kids.
when we first got cable.
Right. You're not
They
successful.
showed Hooper all the time, which was a great movie with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
a movie with Elliot Gould. I gotta look up the name of the movie. And there was, he was like in Europe somewhere. And there was a girl in this movie, and there was a scene that she showed like 2 seconds of boobage. And I'm saying boobage because this is what like launched Mr. Skin. You know, you remember back in the day, he
I
used to
don't know
like put his
Mr.
stuff.
Skin.
How
You
come
don't
he's
know
got a
Mr. Skin?
MrSkin.com now?
He's got a whole website.
Yeah, he
and
knows.
everything.
He knows where every
researched
scene
2 minutes
there
and
was
6 seconds
yeah,
in.
exactly,
boom.
where there was nakedness in a show. Or
Oh,
movie.
it's a website. Then.
Yeah, but he
Yes.
no,
He's
he started off in
reviewed, or his
Playboy.
staff is
I
reviewed
so
every
don't have that
movie.
much free time.
Yeah.
No,
Every
in the
movie.
back of Playboy, the last
it's been
page,
around forever.
he started
Yeah,
like
that's my son.
that's how he got started. Was he was on the back of Playboy showing these
The
naked
different
scenes.
movies that had
Yeah.
naked scenes
Whatever the
coming
naked
out
scenes
at the
were.
time. And
But
he
there was this Elliot
All right,
Gould.
let's get back to the Elliot
But
Gould
there was
thing.
an Elliot Gould movie, and this girl showed her tit for like 3 seconds.
What girl?
I don't know, but she
What
was
movie?
gorgeous. I don't know the
Google it.
name of the movie, but it was fabulous.
Rocket.
And that was, you had to like time your jerk off.
Is that what you think it is? Rocket?
No, Crockett.
I'm gonna look it up. I gotta look it up.
Let's see.
Go ahead. He'll take a look at
And
it.
then I still remember PBS had.
PBS?
Remember the oldest
Boobs?
daughter from Eight Is Enough?
No.
Remember the show Eight Is Enough?
8 is enough.
With Van Patten. He had 8 kids. So there was an oldest daughter. She was on PBS naked.
Naked on
Naked
PBS?
on PBS. And I remember my friend
What, at the
called
Christmas special?
we called her Eight Is Enough Tits. That's what
What,
that was her name.
PBS?
This was this was in the mid
Channel 12, 13?
Yeah. She was totally naked. So was the
Doing
girl.
what?
So was the girl who played the doctor on The Odd Couple.
About what year are you talking about?
Like 1976, 77, 78.
76, 75,
You're looking at Elliot
76. I will for now. Harry and Walter go to New York.
No.
77, A Bridge Too Far.
No.
78, Capricorn 1.
Here, talk into the mic so...
Matita,
It might have been that.
The Silent Partner.
Oh, it's a silent partner. That was
Silent
it.
Partner.
She's naked and she's.
Who is she?
I don't know. She was.
All right, here we go. We're gonna...
Black hair dude.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Black hair
Harry's
girl.
biggest favorite
Susanna
clothes.
York.
Susanna York. Susanna York.
It is
Show
right
her. Is
there.
that Susanna York?
Could be her.
She looks like a librarian.
That's a fairly new picture.
But now, what size would you say they were? Like if you had a mold, if you had to mold it,
Oh,
what would
she
you?
was like a 34B or 34C. She
died
wasn't huge. She
in
was gorgeous.
2011.
Just
In
gorgeous.
the movie, she was gorgeous.
Or
You
34.
know, again, listen, we're going back to a time when you had very little to,
It was
you know, to look at.
Everything
Now, I
was-
was lucky.
El Natural.
I remember when I was in high school, some kids started talking about we had the box. You remember the box that you punch the buttons? You had like
Yeah.
30 buttons.
What box?
The cable box.
Cable box.
It was hooked up to a
Started with
wire.
buttons and then it went to a slide
So-
thing.
I never had. I
It
never
had-
had any of those.
So this-
I was.
So listen. to
I
this.
looked up. I was one of the 99%.
So this is great. I hear this thing
Those
that
are tits.
Jesus.
that wasn't her. That wasn't.
That's Susan York.
No, it might have been that. I got to take the time to look. Anyway, so I hear that you can undo the bottom of the box and twist the twirly thing, right? And you can get the porn channel. like because people you could pay for.
That
porn
sounds
channel.
like a phallic move to begin with, right?
So
Undo the
it's
box
got-
and.
You know what the hell he
So listen, because my father was my father was a total. My
And
father
then you
was
can get the.
Listen.
Of course you get.
This is as bad as the
You're not
job
gonna get
interview by the dumpster in
You're
the
not
back of
going to
the
get Sesame
car.
Street channel.
my dad loved porn, so.
Your dad loved porn.
Yeah, so this is. I'm
Of
telling you,
course, he's in the prop business.
This gets
Holy
really funny.
shit.
So I take apart the box. I figure out it had these star screws
Yeah,
on it.
the special.
And I figure out how to undo it. I come up with a system. I undo it, and I start to play. And I have the TV on, and I put the box, the button down, like button 30, and I start to play. And I got the porn channel. Now, back in the day,
How old were you?
I was 17. They didn't show cock or any blowjobs.
No
or anything,
penetration.
but they
Yeah,
showed
it's like beat.
boobs and stuff like that. So this is like soft porn.
And right there, you said, "I'm getting into the bra business."
I tell my dad that
That's it.
I tell my dad that I got
I'm
this
in the
thing.
bra business.
I'm telling you,
I
I
gotta
was
get into
like,
it.
we'd watch. A couple of friends would come over and we'd watch a Yankee game, and in between the commercials,
Also,
we'd pop the channel, and there'd just be giant tits in your face. And my friends are like, "Why are we leaving? What are we doing? I don't want to go
You
back
should
to
do
the
that
Yankees."
as a subliminal movie theater,
right?
So
That's
the
a
people
true
run
story.
out to
A one
concession stand
a
for.
one-
I
Yeah,
come
I'd
like to
home.
buy a
I come
bra,
home one day
please.
from school.
That's what he does. He has those subliminal messages in the movie theaters, and the women run out and they buy the Bowflex bras.
Buy flakes.
Bowflex.
Listen, I come home
Oh,
one day.
flex. Yeah,
I come
that's
home
the
one day from
exercise
school,
thing.
3:00 in the
Right,
afternoon,
yeah.
right? I
It's
walk in.
not.
I'm a senior in
Yeah.
high school. I walk into my, the family room, and I walk in, and my grandmother was staying, and she's sitting in my
What
dad's
size
spot.
is she?
My grandmother, she was very big. Anyway, she's watching porn. I walk in.
Your
and I go,
grandmother's watching
"Yeah." I
porn?
go, "Grandma, what are you doing?" She goes, "I love to watch love. I can't have it. I may as well watch it." And that's what she told me. And I'm like, "What the
What
fuck?"
year was this?
This is, I'm 18 years old.
Oh my God. that's
1980.
hysterical.
Your grandma's watching porn.
Watching porn.
Now-
And she tells me, "I love to watch love."
Now,
See, grandma's story.
hold on.
I got a good grandma story.
Let me grab this for
Yeah.
a second. So we were doing some banner before we got started, and I was asking him about, we're talking about Boomers Unplugged, and it's, the idea is that we don't have a station to turn to watch shows about us, like our parents did, and so forth. So we were asking them, did they watch Lawrence Welk, your grandparents? Did they watch,
No, they don't
whatever.
watch anything.
They watch porn. They watch porn. That's what they did.
They
She
watch-
did.
And that's how you get into the bra business.
Yeah.
So here, I'll tell you this.
Oh my
grandmother's
God.
Story. This is, I'm in high school at the time. I don't know, probably 14, 15. I have three brothers.
Another
We're all
grandmother
1 year
story?
apart. Yeah. And so it's right around the time when we all start, teenage drinking,
Right, sure.
teenage smoking weed, and everything like that. So my mom doesn't know what to do. She's like, "Oh my God, you're smoking weed." So she tells my grandmother, who went through that with my aunt, who was like 12 years younger than my mother. So she was into the 60s, early
Okay.
70s, that kind of crap. So we're sitting, and every Sunday, my parents would go out to play tennis or something, and my grandparents would come. We'd have dinner with them, and they'd hang with us, watch some TV, and then they'd go home. One day, we're all sitting watching TV. I forget, it's like Sunday night, remember? Yeah, Mutual of Omaha, and Disney. What?
He's working out there.
So Disney and that kind of stuff. And my grandmother all of a sudden goes, "Hey, who's got some papers?"
Your grandmother?
My grandmother. So me and my brothers,
Papers?
Papers. Me and my brothers look at each other and
You
go,
didn't get into the weed
"What?"
business.
What are you talking
What did you
about?
say? So she reaches into her pocket, and pulls out a napkin, and opens it up, and there's weed
That's
inside this
hilarious.
napkin. She goes, we'll roll and smoke some pot. We were
What
like,
year was this?
77, 78,
77,
right?
78, somewhere in there.
Grandma's smoking pot.
Yeah,
Well, the
Grandma's
reason-
watching porn.
She was trying to
Listen, John,
embarrass us.
Grandma was
grandma-
probably younger than we are now.
Both my grandmas, I never did any of this stuff with.
Okay, younger than. So this is what's driving me nuts. That's why I'm writing like.
Hold on, the
songs
dog's
and stuff.
barking outside, so
Yeah.
you know. Many of these episodes, the cops come.
But what's driving me nuts is, like me and my wife, we watch Survivor. Loves the show Survivor, right? So I'm watching this season, and this guy who looks like he's 102 is 57 years old, and he wins. And they're all calling him the old man, and I'm looking at my wife, like, I'm 6 fucking years older than this guy. And I don't feel that old. Like, I think that I'm starting to get annoyed with this old thing. I'm 63 years old. But I'm looking at this guy, he's 57. He looked old. And if you watch Survivor, they're really down on the old people. That's the people they vote out first.
I grew up in a very, very Catholic home. And there's these things called the 8 Beatitudes. And I remember only one of them, number 8. And I dedicated my life to this. Blessed are the children, for they shall inherit the world. Always be young. If you're not young, I mean, it's not an age.
Use it or lose it.
Okay. Now, your
So
bodies.
I'm gonna write a song from. I've already come up with the concept from the grandchild's perspective, talking to her grandfather, annoyed of age discrimination. That's the song I'm writing.
All right. So the first
From
song.
both perspectives?
Hold on.
Just the girl,
Young or
the young
old?
girl's perspective of how people treat old people.
This
and
is
that her grandfather's not that old, and that but again, we're starting to get to the age where people are like, oh, who's the old guy? And I'm like, what do you mean fucking old guy? What are you talking about? But we are, and it's kind of annoying. Like, I don't feel like an old guy. I don't feel any different than when
I haven't
25
played
years
hoops
ago,
15
if you
years
saw
ago.
somebody like you, you'd say, oh, that's
He's an old guy.
Yeah, and now you're there.
I haven't felt that yet.
What? You haven't felt like an old guy? Or you don't feel
You
like
have
somebody's
6
ever looked at you and
grandkids. How
said
could you
you're an
not
old
feel
guy?
like an old guy?
I'm pops. I'm not a grandfather. Pops. I don't know. I just never felt. I really haven't.
You never felt old? Or like you're getting old?
I would feel.
You still play baseball?
Yeah, I do. I play center field.
I thought you quit.
I did, but then the coach called me up and said we're not going to make the
Because
playoffs unless you come.
he's too good.
Oh no! I said I'm not coming until after Memorial Day.
I used to say the day
no,
I
I'm
can't
like
play
Kenny
softball.
Stabler now. All right.
I
You
used
get to
say
show up when you want.
I used to
Right.
say the day I can't play softball, I'm giving up, and I had to quit. During COVID because all of a sudden, I'm playing. The leagues were, how they canceled, like you couldn't even use the fields and stuff. And then the league came back, and I couldn't see the ball anymore.
Speaking of which,
How about
one of
pickleball?
your ex-teammates, Stan,
Oh yeah,
right? So Stan's supposed to go.
he didn't play. He played on my team. He played in another. Team.
Well, in the same league
Yeah,
with
same
you, right?
league.
So he's supposed to go on the golf outing next week,
Okay.
right? Week and a half ago, I call him up because I had a tee time, and I'm like, dude, you want to play golf? He's like, The other day I was playing softball. He started playing again. He goes, I come around second base and I kind of stumble. I'm trying to stretch a double into a triple. I'm like, dude, when you're 64 years old, you don't try and stretch doubles into triples anymore. You just don't.
I disagree with that.
He wiped out and fell, and he goes, I
wasn't
hurt my
sprinting.
wrist and I
His all
hurt
cut
my
up.
shoulder. He goes, so I can't play golf tomorrow, but hopefully I'll be good in 3 weeks when we have to go to your outing. I go, all right, just let me know. He calls me back 2 days later. He goes, well, I went and got it x-rayed. I broke my wrist. I'm going to be in a cast for 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh shit.
He goes, my wife told me, don't play softball. You always get hurt.
Do you play baseball or softball?
Real baseball players never go soft.
No, so you play hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so you play in an over 50 league?
Yeah.
Okay.
55. But yes. Now, what I was trying to get to He's been cutting me off. Have you noticed
I
that
don't
all
think he has
night?
been.
crying
Listen,
like-
this is all
she's
about. I
crying like
think
a
you're
little
doing plenty
girl.
of talking on your own. I
Right.
think we're all talking.
We always have to have our little.
Thanks, Tara.
Listen, interruptions is fine. It's part of a conversation.
Howie Mandel over here doesn't know.
Okay, but this is the part of the program where we get to talk to our guests so they can market themselves a little bit. So, you've alluded to a couple songs, and you said you've heard the song.
I heard one
Where
of them.
can I go and hear your song
You
or
can-
song?
I can text it to
I
you.
can only text you. So it's not.
Is it on YouTube?
No.
It's a rough cut.
Why is it on YouTube?
Because we're just starting out.
It's a
You
rough
get it on YouTube.
We're not
Did
ready
you,
yet.
where did you,
Why not?
Did you shoot the video and record it on a telephone? Is that
Yeah, my
I
friend
thought
did.
so. Okay.
Let me see.
That- I mean, it's rough.
Okay.
I mean,
All right. Number 2.
Yeah, I can play a little bit for you. So
Your
And we don't have to play the whole thing.
So many years ago, so young and innocent, to be seen and heard, always been decent, learning and listening, and talking out of turn, earn their respect and let the wisdom burn. But I'm smarter now, freer now, you see. Still chasing down that older, better me. And I'm stronger now, it's like a river tree.
The guy can sing.
I'm still chasing down that older, better me.
Good, right?
yeah, very nice, very nice. Thank you.
I'm worked out love.
Okay, let me
And
see.
now
Now,
that
you wrote the words. And
I
the
wrote all the
words.
lyrics, and my friend is composing. And so now we're doing another song, which is so my mom passed of Alzheimer's, and I always remember this one time. I'm down there with her, and my oldest brother, was with her. We're together, and she's probably 2 years in, and my brother says to her, "Mom, how you doing?" And she goes, "I'm okay." He goes, no, really, like, how are you doing? And she says, "I'm living life. I have a great husband, I have you kids, and I'm okay." And then I said, "You're okay with what you have?" She goes, "No, but I'm okay."
What can you do?
You know, she was 79 years old at the time. So I decided to write a song from the perspective of the person going through Alzheimer's. So then that's a new one that we're working on. It's from the woman who it's called A Beautiful Girl, and it's basically the person, she's always been a beautiful girl, and then she starts to lose her.
And how do you coordinate? Because you don't have any kind of music background, right?
I play guitar, but not
I
very
didn't
well.
even know you played guitar.
But so I write a poem. So this is where we've come with the song, and then he'll start to put together. Let me see if I.
So he plays something that he thinks might go along with your
Yeah,
lyrics?
he hasn't done the song yet. Where the fuck is it? No, here it is. He hasn't done the music yet to it, but he's thinking more in sort of Jackson Brown's These Days and Fleetwood Mac's Landslide is going to be the melody. And so the lyrics start, "It's been a wonderful life that I've had. I gave my love through good and bad. I danced through storms, my heart held high, but fate came late and began my slide. What a beautiful girl I used to be. Everyone wanted to be like me. What a beautiful girl, I still believe. The joy of life well lived, but now I grieve. The days grow dim, my thoughts unwind. Oh God, what's happened to my mind? My love's my wind, they fade to haze, like scattered stars in my yesterdays." And again, we go through it, and my favorite part is, "Doctors test me, the pen and chart, a broken clock, a breaking heart. I plead, take me home. and let me be, don't strip away my dignity. So it's all from a person's perspective. And then it ends with a beautiful girl no longer, I never existed, a death without memory, a fate so twisted, I'm still a beautiful girl, I did things right, a beautiful girl you see has lost a fight. And you know, I've never seen anybody like attack Alzheimer's in a way. So, and it's pretty shitty. You know, when we talk about getting old, like we were just talking about getting old, it's like, yeah, she was only 15 years older than I am today.
Right.
And
You don't know about anything. You don't know what's.
And she did. She lived the perfect life.
We're all online. It's a line you don't want to cut.
Yeah.
You don't know where you are on the line. You could be at the head of the line. Not even know. And not even know.
But like we talked about before, who knows? 15 years from now, maybe there's a cure for it.
Yeah,
Like my
could be.
my wife has MS. There's times when she wants to give up. I don't blame her. Fucking life sucks. I mean, everybody and their brother walks no problem, and she struggles to walk. And she didn't do anything to deserve this, but you know, that's the hand you dealt. I mean,
Well, thank God she has you, and you bring that positive energy in the family.
We try.
And that's all you can do.
that's all you can do. And I'm there
That's all
for
you can
her,
do.
and whatever she needs, you know, and that's all that you can do in life.
Do the newer
We should-
meds make a difference?
No, so the problem with the meds is, and it's interesting, MS is a very interesting disease because it really only attacks like 3 million people worldwide.
Really?
But it's only white people. So black people generally don't have it. If you're south of the equator or at the equator, you don't get it because it's definitely a lack of vitamin D, a lack of sun, that kind of causes this particular disease. And it's a brain disorder. It's basically
Get rid of sunblock.
your brain is your power source, and the wires that go to the rest of your body, it's basically the wire has a coating, and so if you just imagine you were in the wire business, just imagine, you know, where the wire has been nicked or something, and the
It all
signal is
freezes.
not going through, so
Leaks out.
the signal doesn't go through from her brain to her legs. It's not like her legs can't work, they're just not getting the signal. And so the medication they have is just to stop the scars, multiple scars, from continuing. So the medication
So
is,
it slows progression.
exactly.
It
So-
doesn't
so
stop.
It's your immune system is constantly attacking these, what they call the myelin sheaths or
okay.
something,
Yeah.
and they constantly attack that nerve that's, you know, getting the signal. So the medication is to trick your immune system, and so that it doesn't attack.
To
But
stop
there's no
attacking.
cure. There's nothing that says, okay, I'm going to make your leg work better. Now that doesn't mean 10 years
There
from now
won't
there
be.
won't be, because even, you know, the vaccination that they put out for COVID, there are some things in that particular strain of whatever they do, and I don't know any of it, but that might be help to cure cancer patients or help to cure MS patients because of that.
Yeah, mRNA.
Whatever that, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
could
I mean,
be-
I don't, you know, so I keep telling her, listen, you fight to fight. But the problem with the medication that she has is it's only preventive. So it's been interesting. For the past 11 years, we've been going to doctors, and their main goal is to keep you out of a wheelchair.
So
you
she
know.
got diagnosed in her
She was diagnosed
late
at
40s?
49.
Late 40s.
Yeah, we started noticing, we were doing P90X, and we were doing it religiously for like 2 years. And, you know, there were a couple of balance things, and she started to struggle. So she went to, you know, her urologist for a couple of issues that she was having. The urologist says, well, it sounds like your symptoms, you might want to see a neurologist because you might have MS. And my wife's like, what? And so she goes to this MS doctor in Princeton, and this guy was a real fucking douchebag. And he says, nah, you don't have MS. It was a Chinese guy. And he's like, nah, you don't have MS. You're fine, you're fine. And then she goes through the MRIs and everything, and she goes into the appointment. And I wasn't there. And he literally says,
So you can see the lesion.
he's like, so, and she's like, what does all this mean? And he goes, you have MS. And she's, but you told me I don't have MS. He goes, but you have it. And then she's like, okay. That he drops that thing on her, and then, you know, she says, so what do I do? He's like,
Nice bedside
He's
manner.
like, make another appointment and we'll talk about it. And she's like, make another. So you're just gonna send me out with this fucking bomb that you just dropped on me and make another appointment? That's your answer? So she was furious at this guy, and so I said to her, she tells me about it on the way home, she's crying. And so I said, all right, let's make an appointment, we'll go into Philly. We went to Jefferson and some MS specialist, and they confirm it, but then he at least was working with her, so.
Well, bedside manner.
Yeah, no, the first guy was horrendous. And it was funny, like, talking about the Alzheimer's thing with my mom. I mean, the first guy that went there, we bring my mom to the appointment. The guy is like the biggest fucking douchebag I've ever met.
Amazing.
I'm sitting in this room and the guy's like, he draw clocks. So she draws like this fucking square. I'm like, okay. But he just makes her feel like an idiot. She, at that point, she could think, she could hear, she could listen, she could, it was fine. And basically the guy's like, you're an idiot. And she's like, I lived 78 years of my life not being an idiot. Now I can't, because I can't draw a circle, I'm an idiot. And that's just the way he treated her.
Yeah, some of them
we walked
really
out of there and it was like...
Poor manner.
I just thought it was like the worst meeting I've ever had. I was like, I've never
There's a lot of
seen somebody get treated so poorly.
Carolyn just went through last year. She developed a cerebral spinal fluid leak.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
So it's in October, I guess, she started getting these headaches, and she never ever gets headaches. It's lucky enough person that never had headaches. So now she's getting these headaches, and now they're getting severe by December, where she can't function, can't work, can't do anything. So she goes to see this neurology group here in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget, they blew her off like her first meeting, like weird stuff. Like they didn't call her in right away to see her, and then they bring her in, and they kind of had some half-ass way of dealing with her, and then he sent her for an MRI. They go, all right, doesn't seem like you have anything, go for an MRI. So we're sitting here. The MRI was like on Wednesday. Friday night at 6:30 at night, we get a phone call. It's the doctor, and he goes, get to the emergency room immediately. Right? So we're like, whoa, slow down, pal. You went from blowing us off to poo-pooing this, and now all of a sudden you need to explain to me what's going on here. And he explained it, and I go, but wait a minute, how is it now you better get to the emergency room? Is life-threatening? Because that's what I would think if they're sending you to the emergency room immediately. So, and anyway, it turned out we didn't go to the hospital here. We have a friend who has connections, and we got into RWJ up in New Brunswick and saw their neurology department, and they, sure enough, she had a cerebral fluid leak. So there's a door around your whole neurological system, and if a leak gets in it, right, there's fluid in there all the time. It's all at the same pressure. You get a leak, the pressure goes down, and all that stuff starts to shrink. Wow. Pulls on your brain, pulls on all
It's probably the epidural.
So
it's the same thing. Same type of leakage.
Yep, pretty much. As a matter of fact, that's one of the questions they ask you. Have you been in a severe car accident, or have you had an epidural done lately? Because the epidural can...
That's the after effect.
Right, it doesn't seal, and the fluid starts leaking out and continues to do so until the pressure goes down and it creates the problem. Anyway, she had what they call a blood patch done, and she's fine now. So
thank goodness.
That's scary.
And
yeah, it's kind of weird. The shit they're able to figure out freaks me out, right? So they do what's called a blood patch. So they don't know exactly where the leak is. So they take your blood, they spin it down, check it for how well it coagulates, and then they inject it into your spinal fluid column, and it travels till it finds the leak, and it plugs the leak like a... So the proximity to the lake makes it much more
That's
accurate,
pretty-
but it's pretty wild. How the hell did they figure
I don't know.
that shit out? It's amazing.
I think they did it the way that we did it back in the 70s. They took an air hose, stuck it up your ass, and wherever it leaked, all right, that's where they plugged it.
Where did this guy come from tonight?
Might
Now,
be- might be
let
from
me say
leaching.
something here.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this
It
up.
must
I
be
gotta
the
get
Terry effect.
I
Yeah, you gotta get home
It's 10
before
o'clock. I won't be
midnight.
able to-
This was, I started this bit by saying, this is when we, market our guests,
Yes.
and we only got to your song. And this is the problem with boomers. This is like a goodbye at a right? It's
Takes a half an hour.
It's endless. And you know what? I hated when my parents did this as a kid. I hated it. I was like, let's go. Okay, we're going now. And then it would be
You're just saying
hour
goodbye.
freaking half. Anyway, tell us a little, let's end with your
So,
TV miniseries?
I'm
Miniseries
trying-
or full series?
it's a full series. I mean, I have 3 years.
What's the name of
in the
it?
thought. It's called Men in Bras. So this is just a thing. This is my pitch deck.
That's appropriate for today's
So
show.
Men in Bras was the thing.
You're catching
Yeah,
audience.
that actually in today's world should catch on
Yeah,
quite
and
well.
this is
What
the-
size do you think Chris would be? I just want to know before you would go. I think he's
This
like
is probably a 38B, 38A. Yeah, 38 around.
Oh, at least today. At least.
But so
don't get into OnlyFans.
what they have when you write scripts is you have to have a log line. So it's called, my log line is starting from humble beginnings to underdogs stitched together a legacy in the glamorous yet cutthroat world of 1950s lingerie, one cup size at a time.
Now you have an appointment you're mentioning.
So I've had a few
Now,
appointments.
who have you? Yeah, like who have you? Who
So-
do you pitched that to?
I have I'm on this website, Stage 32, I think it's called, and you buy time. You get people to read your scripts who are in the industry, and then they call you. So like I've done this. I've paid for 3 people to read my scripts, and every time when I get a little information from them, I then build upon it and change the script down. Like the first guy, originally the script was to mask my life, to kind of interweave my life with my dad's life, and so I would jump from the 50s and 60s to the 90s and tell that story of.
So you're going
Yeah.
back and forth in time.
And somebody
That's
told me
interesting.
that's too difficult. So, and I was trying
Too
to.
difficult
I was
for people
trying
to follow?
It was too difficult from a money standpoint. Like if you even look at This Is Us, This Is Us. They would do now, and then they would do like
So you need
the
two.
70s.
Yeah, you need
So-
2 different scenes,
Yeah, it was
2 different
it-
sets of cars,
but
clothing.
But if you're constantly moving, like going from 1990 to 1960, it's too difficult. So I changed that. And then the last guy, he really liked my script, and he really liked the story of how Al got into the business, and he loved the woman aspect of it because there's a big portion of the model. She's half the character, and eventually, the story will lead to them. Al's gonna have a wife and kids, but he's also gonna have
Another
this separate
secondary
life
life.
in
What's
New York City.
what's the rating on this? Is
Oh,
it
it'll be
PG-R?
No, it'll be.
Oh, so there'll be boobs in the
Well,
bra.
you read the script, right, Chris?
Yeah.
So, John, you didn't read it. So, I mean,
I didn't know, but
I'll send it to you because I think it's really
I can't wait
good.
to see the video.
I
of it,
think it's
personally.
very funny. I did you think it was funny? I thought it was funny, and
It's got definitely some funny parts in it.
yeah, it's not all just comedy. So it's more like I compare it to, first of all, I compared it to The Godfather because it's going to be like a family saga without murder, and then I did Mad Men because it's 60s.
Well, I know that
man's
scene at the
world.
wedding in the beginning. That would be a good time to do a bra commercial right there.
There you go.
Right?
Especially when Sonny's banging the girl upstairs. Like,
Yeah.
where is that guy? And so then the last guy I had, he said, the only thing I need is, because I jumped, like I had Al create Lycra, and I jumped from him getting the job to now he's doing really well. So I needed to have him fuck up a little bit. So I have like a really bad guy in it.
So they want yin and yang and everything.
Yeah, so I had to have him fuck up a little bit where he pisses off the one guy who really is annoyed with him working on his products because he's a young guy, and I don't want any young guy working on my products that I'm selling, you know, fuck him kind of attitude. So I have a lot of that. So there's one really bad guy who, you know, is just very touchy-feely.
So the script is still maybe evolving from where it is.
I think right now, I think I got it.
I think it's
I
done.
like it where it is.
Now you
right
see they're building over in Fort Monmouth.
Yeah, and I
always-
told you, I talked to the one guy at Netflix. But
yeah, I just saw something about
Here
it
we go
today, how
again.
much money they're going to
Yeah.
throw into that area. What?
Netflix.
Oh, we're just going to go off on another tangent. That's all.
No,
that's-
it's,
that's
it's
not
not
another-
another
It's just-
tangent.
the
He
problem-
can't
if
follow
anybody-
when he thinks it's another
The
tangent.
problem is it's hard.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Fort Monmouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did I say? Netflix.
Movie.
Okay.
No, Netflix opened up a
Netflix
whole
bought
big studio.
Fort Monmouth,
That's
and
right.
they built 11 sound
it's a
stages
huge
and
studio
studios
To make
there.
movies.
Everything, TV
Exactly.
shows,
TV
okay.
show,
Well,
everything.
that's very
As a
good.
matter of fact, that's where Thad just went.
Oh, did he? Oh,
He's an extra
yeah, for his Happy
for
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He went there. Stan went there too, I think.
So when will you hear anything? Or
Well, I'm going to speak to this guy. So I'm looking for a manager. So in this industry, it's all about who you know. How do I get somebody to read my script? Like, so I would think a guy like Seth, because I have a little bit of Jewishness in it.
This
So
is.
I would think that's a guy like Seth Rogen would love this.
Is this strictly
yeah, I
movie?
think.
No, this is a TV show.
Well, I mean, film kind of thing, TV, whatever. It's not stage.
10 episode first season, 10 episodes. I have written.
Oh, you wrote that many of them?
Oh yeah, I've written like I have. So my favorite story is, and you know we can end on this.
And what are they? Half hour?
Yeah, an hour.
We're gonna have to hurry because I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so do I. But my
And
favorite.
he's got to go home soon.
My favorite story is, so I have Al goes to France for one of these shows, and he's with a couple of people from his job, and they go hang out after the hard day of shopping or whatever, and they have a couple of beers and some drinks in the hotel lobby, and the hotel lobby becomes
That sounded like a woman comment. A hard day of shopping?
yeah, well, they're shopping.
You mean a
for-
different kind of shopping?
So they're just there. So anyway, they're in the lobby, and as they know, and now this comes from this particular thing is from experience with me because I did this in the early 2000s. I'm in Lyon, France, and we're drinking in this lobby and hanging out, and all of a sudden I turn around and I'm like, there's like 1,000 beautiful, and I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking 1,000 beautiful people now in this place. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're just drinking, and all of a sudden, I'm looking around, I'm like,
See, alcohol does make everybody
no,
prettier.
Chris, I'm telling you, I have never seen women this gorgeous.
All of them stunning.
Like, all in France. They're actually all bra models from the show that we were at. So we were at this big convention, and these women are, but the men were pretty special. And I'm drinking, and I notice this one guy. Watch this guy. Said this is like 2005. You remember the scooters that the kids would do?
Yeah.
I literally watched the most gorgeous girl I ever saw get on the back of one of those scooters and ride away with the guy. And I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. The guy doesn't even have a car. He's got a fucking
He's a
scooter.
little moped.
No, it wasn't electric though. He's like literally with the pedal. You know, he's doing it with his feet, and he's riding out of the bar. And I'm like, what the? She is spectacular. So anyway, so I get this idea that Al's there in the 70s, and he watches this whole thing go on, and then these girls come over, and this happened to us. These girls come over and you tell them that we're in the bra business. The next thing you know, they're like taking off their shirt and having you look at their bras and all this stuff. And so I have, buying drinks, and Al says, listen, I'm flying out tomorrow morning. I got to fly to Amsterdam, and then I'm catching a flight home. I got to go to bed. So it's like 11 o'clock, and he leaves these girls with the other guys. He's like, I got to go to bed. Then he gets a knock on the door, and it's the one girl that he likes, and so he cheats with her. And so I do that story, and then he gets up and he takes all of her information. He says, I'll come back, I'll see you. And he gets in a plane, and he flies to Amsterdam. And now he's in Amsterdam and he's got like 6 hours to kill. So he says, he goes out in Amsterdam and he goes, this is 1976 or something. He goes, they got a weed bar here, right? And the guy goes, the cab driver goes, yeah, I'll take you to Mellow Yellow. It's the famous first weed bar in Amsterdam. So he takes Al there, and Al just, he goes, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, he gets a cup of coffee at the weed bar, he gets some weed, he pulls out a book, he's hanging out for 3 hours, and, he's sparking up and he's enjoying himself. 3 hours later, the waitress comes in and it's like, all right, can I get you anything else? He says, can you call me and she's like, a cab? And he says, yeah, call me a cab. So she calls him a cab, he stumbles out, he gets in the cab, and the guy says to him, where to? He says, I don't know. He says, no, seriously, where to? He says, I don't know. I gotta go somewhere, but I don't know where I gotta go. And he's like, no, you gotta go somewhere, where are you going? And it's in broken English. He's like, I really don't know where I gotta go. I know I gotta get home
blown
somewhere.
out?
He's like, I gotta get home somewhere. He says, train station? He goes, no. Airport? Yeah, take me to the airport. And then he falls asleep in the car, and the guy's like, driving him there, and he drugged him, and he says, finally wakes up, and he's like, what airline?
What the hell happened?
And so I just wanted, I always had this idea of this, you're in Europe, you get so stoned on weed, and you got no idea what you're doing, where you go, you're tired, the whole thing. And so I just think that would be a great scene to show.
Well,
Seth Rogen would be into that scene.
I just think
I don't know if
play Al.
I don't know if it's a great scene or not, but it sounds promising. But I do know one thing.
You have to pee.
No.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, for the rest of my life on vacation, people ask me, what do you do for a living? I'm in the bra business.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just telling everybody I'm in the bra business. Look at this.
And now you know enough about bras there are.
But I think you got
sewers there are.
Yeah.
Molders there are.
Look, we don't have the time to do this because we'll go down another rabbit hole. But
Shit, do you know that
all
there's
right.
literally a guy who sells bows? Like little bows on the front of the
For
bra?
bras? What, you mean just one guy does that?
There are companies and they make millions of dollars. They make bows. My dad, I had him in a golf outing one time, and he was sitting out by the pool after golfing, and he's meeting all these vendors. He's an older guy now, and he's like, "What do you do?" And the guy goes, "I sell bows."
I do bows.
You
for
sell
bras.
bows? He goes, "Who the fuck sells bows? What kind of fucking job is that? Bows?"
I sell lots of them.
Yeah. Guy makes like $300,000 a year
It's
selling
like
bows.
selling screws. How many screws? I sell 30 bazillion screws.
Listen,
well, you know what?
if I'm making 30,000 dozen bras a week, that's a lot of
Well,
bows.
All right, but you know what the most amazing product is? A 1/4-inch drill bit.
I got my friend who plays guitar sells them. That's his business.
Really?
Nobody,
He
but
sells
nobody.
It's business.
This is my joke.
Quarter-inch
This is my
drill
line.
bit.
I buy all that shit all the time.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
What
the
did I
quarter-inch
just say?
drill bit.
1/4-inch drill bit.
No. Everybody, there's nobody in the world that wants a 1/4-inch drill bit.
Why not?
They want 1/4-inch holes. Nobody wants to buy a bra.
Yeah, but you can't make
They
a
want
hole
the
without a
breasts to
drill bit.
look nice.
Okay.
Well, some people buy bras because they want their boobs to be supported so they don't bounce around.
John,
Well, you
that-
can't-
John,
but you can't buy
but
a-
that's like saying,
However-
I don't want the sheetrock. I don't
However,
need
just
this
however,
put the
here's the
sheetrock in.
difference.
The paint
I mean, come on. What
Here's
are you
the
talking
difference.
about?
Here's the difference. I'm going to tell you the difference.
Of
You got to
course-
let me answer if you ask. The difference is, go back to 1959 when we started this whole conversation.
Look at you remember.
All right.
59.
You still need a drill bit. 59, 25. Go back to 59. You don't need a bra. You can buy boobs now. You can't buy a hole. End of story. Drop the mic. Boomers Unplugged.
I think
Harry,
you
thank
can-
you so much
I
for
think you can
tonight.
buy a hole.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Signing off.
Sign it off.
That was good.